What's up, G Show Land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show Podcast. I am G1, and this is the final episode of the year for the season finale of the G1 versus Z1 show. Yes. Me and Gam's going at it back and forth like we've done several times this year. And this one, the finale of the season, should be good because we've got some things to talk about. Basically, some of our favorite things and some of our least favorite things of the year. But the nitty gritty of the podcast is going to be, what? What kind of poll is this, Gam, that you got me doing?
Oh, it's not a poll. It's a tier list.
Whoa.
Basically, a tier list is you're ranking specific things from the best at S rank, and you go down A rank, B rank, C rank, D rank, and maybe even F rank if it's that bad. And context, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, as of the recording of this video, me, Shin Rob Jira, JR, and a couple of other people did various tier lists for Godzilla designs, Godzilla enemies, and what we're going to do today, the movies themselves.
Oh my God. Me and Gam, we are on totally different spectrums. We're on opposite sides of the spectrum, whatever you want to call it, when it comes to Godzilla movies. Although, surprisingly, I mean, the end of this year just had the one to rule them all, apparently, right? Shit.
Oh yeah, the one that's just universally, this is it. This is the one. This is it.
Which I love, by the way, too, because I saw Chase put up that they were running now through New Year's out here in the States, -1, which was fantastic. But for me, my last show, close to me, within legit 5 to 10 minute proximity, it ended tomorrow. But I got on this morning, and bam, lo and behold, thank you, Fandango, for updating all the way through the New Year's. So I'm definitely going to see it one more time Friday morning. I was gonna go see it tomorrow, which is Thursday as of this recording, the 20th. I was gonna go see it tomorrow, but I've got several things I gotta take care of. So I'm like, well, now that it's playing through New Year's, hell, I might see it Friday and then go see it Christmas just because. Because it makes me happy. It makes me happy. But we'll get into that. Obviously, no introduction needed. There's Gams. It's me. Let's start with the, our couple of favorite things of the year and then a couple of not so favorite things of the year. And by the way, full disclosure, I'm doing a top 10 best and worst list with JR this coming Friday. So I'm not really going to blow my load here. I'm going to let y'all know right now. What I'm probably going to do is give you my runners up. And then y'all going to have to tune in for the JR podcast that's absolutely insane every fucking year. But Gams, what were some of your favorite things this year for you?
For me, I actually haven't seen too many things that have actually released this year. I've seen a few things, of course, -1 being one of them. That's at the top.
Oh yeah.
I don't even care. But a few other things that I've watched this year that are really up there are actually the other two entries in what I like to call the Shin trilogy: Shin Ultraman and Shin Kamen Rider.
Wait a minute, was Shin Ultraman this year? I thought that was last year.
Yeah, Shin Ultraman released last year, but I watched it this year.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And obviously, me being a big Anno fan and a big Shin Godzilla fan, I went into those with very high expectations and honestly was blown away. I absolutely loved Shin Ultraman, and Shin Kamen Rider is probably my second favorite of the three, right behind Shin Godzilla itself.
Oh, wow. You've been trying to get me to watch that movie since it came onto Amazon.
It's true. It's really good.
Man.
Another one that I was really late to the party on was Oppenheimer. I I watched that pretty much the day before I watched -1, and while my partner wasn't as impressed with it, I knew where the movie was coming from, and while I do have some small gripes about the pacing of the movie, overall it was really, really good. And that's not even mentioning Across the Spider-Verse. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Across the Spider-Verse. Probably the best non-tokusatsu superhero movie to come out this year.
That is a very, very, very fair assessment.
Like, and like I said, I skipped a lot of things. So like a lot of things that would be on people's worst lists, like the Marvels or friggin' what other Marvel movie came out this year?
Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Quantumania.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Marvels and Quantumania, I haven't even bothered to watch those because I'm so behind on the MCU that I feel like if I even watched those, I would just be completely lost, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I get you. You know what though? Real quick, Disney just fired Jonathan Majors this week because of the trial, his domestic abuse trial. He was found guilty, and they got rid of him. So whatever they were trying to set up with Kang, the Conqueror,
yeah,
that's dead in the water now. And I was watching one of my favorite YouTube people, one of the Hollywood YouTube peoples. He has an insider there, and they were talking about, and I didn't see Loki, but they were saying basically that, and they didn't give spoilers, but they were saying that the way Loki season 2 ended, it kind of gave it an opening. If they did not want to bring Kang back, they did not have to bring Kang back. So that's interesting because now I want to watch that. And I'm thinking, since today is my first day of Christmas vacation until the 27th, I'm thinking, well, I've got some time, and I think I'm going to revisit some of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and pick and choose, and and maybe watch a couple of TV shows here. Loki season 2 might be on that list, but yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that you're so behind, yet at the same time, I think right now Marvel's in flux, so it could actually be a great time to jump in. But no, but agreed. Nothing comes close to Across the Spider-Verse in terms of superhero.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. When it comes to things that absolutely disappointed me this year, I mean, at the top of that list is the new TMNT movie. I'm sorry. I did not like that movie.
Oh, stabby. Listen. There is I sound like JR right now. There is one particular sequence in that movie that had me falling out of my seat, rolling on the floor, cackling like a fucking hyena.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when they were in the paddy wagon with the mutants, and they said, "Hey, yeah. What's going on?" And it was the He-Man version. My God, they did a meme in that movie, and I absolutely lost it because I absolutely love that meme. It's one of the greatest memes I've ever seen in my life. It's perfectly done. The edits to that, from stealing the animation frames and just the speed up of that song, and it's fucking perfect. That being said, I'm with you. That movie was rotten to the core.
Yeah.
That movie's rotten to the core. And that's my only sneak preview for Friday's episode with JR. That's on my list, and I've got a lot to talk about. But good Lord, man.
Yeah. Another one, just because the unfortunate fact that everything else I've seen this year is so good. Unfortunately, the Meg 2 being just dumb fun just doesn't cut it.
No fucking way you said that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Like literally introspection, looking at everything that I've seen this year, just... yeah, it's dumb monster movie schlock. And while I love dumb monster movie schlock, in comparison to -1, Shin Ultraman, Shin Kamen Rider, all of it, it's just is not as good, you know? It's just not.
In comparison to Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I just read issue 3 today.
You know, I didn't even know that came out, and it's crazy because I had to do something that kind of fell through, but what I had to do was going to leave me a block away from a comic shop, and I was going to that comic shop to buy issues 2 and 3 because I have issue 1, and I have it. Actually, I have it right here. Look, see, Gam's issue 1. See, I own it. I own it. So yeah, no, I've only read issue 1. I have not read issue 2 or 3 yet. I got 2 actually. 2 copies of the first issue. I wanted more. I wanted to get all of them, but unfortunately, the comic shops around here ain't like the comic shops back in New York where I could go into Midtown Comics and say, yo, I want every single cover in my pull list. And they would give me every single one. And then I got to pick and choose, but I digress. Wow, I'm shocked with the Meg right there, brother. Honestly, I thought you...
I still do love it, but I don't love it as much as anything else I've seen this year.
So if you were to do not a tier list, if you were to do a list, it wouldn't be on your worst list. It would probably be like a honorable mention.
Yeah, honorable mention.
Fair. That is fair. That is fair. I mean, for me, I got to be honest. I'm not going to shoot my load here, but there was something that was coming out this year that I focused on, and I wasn't into it because I was like, really? Why? But all of the trailers and stuff, I was like, this is going to be dumb. Like, why are they doing this? This has no hope. And then I saw the movie and I was like, well, then fuck me. Okay. And that's in Expendables 4. Shockingly.
I still need to get on that.
Oh, man, listen. Hey, and I'm not saying rush and see it, but I will say Expendables 4 completely caught me off guard. Because I was like, I did not like the marketing for the movie. I hated the fact that they were saying in the movie guy that does a narration over the things was saying, definitely rated R. Like, really? What? Do we need that? Because the last one was PG-13? Do we need you to say definitely rated R? I mean, come on. All it's going to be is a bunch of fucking CG blood and shit. Like, then I saw the movie and I was like, whoa. It was like, it had the heart of the first one. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It was there. I could care less about the new Expendables team, but at the same time, they didn't piss me off, you know?
And when it comes to like specific genres, was there any like? Oh yeah, I have to mention probably my top 2 favorite horror movies that came out this year. Number 1 is Cocaine Bear.
Is that a horror movie?
Yes, it is. Okay,
Shit.
It's a horror comedy.
Okay.
People die brutally in that.
I gotta watch that. I'm so slack.
Yes, you do. It's really good. The soundtrack is like something you'd hear out of a Toho monster movie. Like, it's some good stuff.
You know who directed that? The girl who directed the latest Charlie's Angels movie. Oh man, what's her name? She's Elizabeth Banks. If I'm not mistaken. Rita Repulsa, yeah. Wow, shout outs.
Yeah, and my number 2, again, this is because I haven't seen many movies that actually came out this year. I don't know if any actually, like, blow away horror movies came out this year, but my number 2 would be Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's a good one because honestly, that's where I was going. I really enjoyed Five Nights at Freddy's. I really did. To the point where I played some of the games, right? They were on Game Pass. I would play a couple of the games, had my kid down there with me, and I couldn't beat any of them. They were fun for what they were. I played 10 minutes of this one, 10 minutes of that one, 10 minutes of this one. It's all the same game. But the movie surprised me. The movie surprised me. And it wasn't one of those movies where I was going in like Expendables with my eyebrow cocked like, yeah, come on. I was like, okay, they made a movie about this game. My kid used to showcase the lore to me, and I'm like, this is a video game? Like, this is crazy. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I think this is a staple Halloween night every year. If not Halloween night, definitely an October movie. A staple every year. I dug it. Five Nights at Freddy's gets a thumbs up. I will say, you had The Exorcist come out later in the later part of the year, but then you had the one, I think it was called Talk to Me, with the possessed hand. I watched that. It was all right. I don't think it was Five Nights at Freddy's, and honestly, I thought it would be scarier than what it was. But it wasn't bad either. But apparently that movie is like Australian or some shit. Like that wasn't that wasn't even like made. I think A24, I think it is A24 or Blumhouse, whoever took it or distributed it, they didn't make that movie. They might have, but it's more an Australian flick. There's like an Australian, like it was a production company I never heard of before. I was like, wait, what? But yeah, that's what it was. It was out in Australia for a whole year already before it came out over here. So that's what it was.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, that was decent. I can't lie. It was decent. It wasn't as scary as I thought. The trailers made it look creepy as fuck. Hey, did Smile come out this year?
Did it?
Oh,
I think it might have been last year.
It might have been last year, but Smile was another one. Because I saw that this year. Oh, wait a minute. Did Scream 6 come out this year?
I have no idea.
I think Scream 6 came out this year. I think it did because I remember watching all 5 Scream movies in anticipation of Scream 6. Aha. Thank you. I have finally found my last one for Friday. Bingo.
Bingo. There we go. Yeah, I haven't seen Scream 6, so that's why it's not on any of my lists. I do need to play some really, really thorough 2023 catch up, definitely.
Well, it's been a busy year for you. I mean, like, honestly, you know what I'm saying? So you can't, like, people can't knock it. Plus, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to fill you in on a little secret here. Gam Gam, he got a whack ass movie theater in his town. So it's not Gam Gam's fault. It's not Gam Gam's fault.
It's really not. Like, we don't even have the new Miyazaki film in my theater.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude.
You don't got Heron in the boy?
Simply because it's not being distributed by Disney and it's being distributed internally through Miyazaki himself or whatever. Yeah, nothing.
Wow. That's going straight to Criterion and HBO.
Yep.
Wow, that's
straight there.
That's messed up. I do want to see that. I forgot. Shit, it was -1. I went to see -1 for the 3rd time, and I was like, "Well, what's this? Holy crap, that's pretty dope." But yeah, no, one of the other things I definitely liked this year came out very early this year, like in February. I liked 65.
See, I watched 65. That's on my worst list.
I
did not enjoy that movie.
I'm mad. I can't wait to get into that. But okay, what did you not enjoy about that movie?
Basically, as a paleo nerd, I simply hated how inaccurate the dinosaurs were. They weren't even dinosaurs. They were just these weird quadrupedal carnivorous lizards.
Yeah, the same ones you found in the Meg 2. I got you.
Yeah, but okay, but those came out of the ocean? That's different.
Did they really? Well, okay, they did come out of the ocean. But the very first sequence of Meg 2, they running around on land like a bunch of scavengers.
That's very true. That's very true. I mean, I remember when we talked about the Meg 2 in the Meg 2 review podcast, that was one of the few things that I was kind of miffed about, that we got these things instead of what was in the actual book,
right?
Which was the Chronosaurs.
Right. No, I liked 65. I liked that. This I thought they were time travelers. I thought it was gonna be like this time travel movie. They get sucked in a wormhole and bam, they're in prehistoric Earth. But that wasn't the case. They're aliens. And I like that. Like I dug that. I really did. Um and
That's definitely fair.
yeah, and I don't know. I like the idea of he's trying to save this young girl because of his daughter and everything he fucked up. And then, as the movie progresses, you see what happens and that he wasn't there for his daughter. So he's going to save this girl. I dug that. And I guess like you on the flip side, being a paleo nerd, me looking at it as, a father having a daughter, I don't want nothing to happen to her, trying to protect in any way possible. I dug it. It was a simple sci-fi movie. That's what I think I liked about it the most. It wasn't trying to be overcomplicated. They didn't over-explain things. Literally, there's minimum dialogue in this movie. It's just a dude trying to protect a girl in a fucking harsh landscape. And I liked that. I did. It was simple. It was simple, A nice little appetizer for things to come. Now, I mean, stuff that I didn't like. Ant-Man Quantumania. I was like, ooh, man, Marvel. And Marvel does what Marvel does what they're gonna do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for the love of God, when I saw oh my God, what the hell is that thing called? MODOK. When I saw MODOK and what they did to MODOK, I was like, this is terrible. Like, that was bad. I did not like it. Oh, it was bad. And I'm just like, God. Because there's one sequence in that movie that I did like, and there's no action in it. It's nothing. It was basically Kang in the cell block with Ant-Man's daughter on one side and Ant-Man on the other side, and Kang basically telling Ant-Man, you really have no choice. You're going to help me, or this is what's going to happen. But the way that scene was acted and played out, oh man, that one was boom, boom, powerful. Now, I gotta watch it again. I gotta watch it again, but I didn't hate it. I was just like, yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it. But like you, I chose to miss a bunch of things. Like, that doesn't interest me. I'm not gonna watch it. Like the Marvels. I liked Miss Marvel, the TV show. I love Photon. I don't know why, but I've always been a nerd for her. I always geeked out for her. But I could not, for whatever it was, the trailers did not get me. Like, I could care less. You taking a fucking character's daughter from the first Guardians of the Galaxy, and she's trying to fulfill, not a prophecy, but just what Daddy was doing? Nah, man, miss me with that. You a low tier. Here's my problem. You're a low tier character. Captain Marvel went toe to toe with Thanos in Endgame. And you need two others to help you beat this one? She doesn't have an Infinity Gauntlet. I mean, maybe there is a magical MacGuffin in the movie, one of those Marvel things that they love to create, like a cosmic cube or something. But I wouldn't know because I didn't want to see it. I'll watch it when it comes on Disney Plus.
Yeah, definitely. Same here. And even though I didn't watch Quantumania, funnily enough, I did get to see what MODOK looked like months and months later when everybody was comparing how shitty he looked to Godzilla and -1.
Hold up. What are you talking about comparing? What? Oh, as far as what
The CGI.
What a $400 million budget looks like compared to a $13 million budget?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. And MODOK wasn't even on the screen as long as -1 was. So I'm just saying. What do we call that Godzilla, by the way? GMO? We have to. GMO.
Well, I like to call him -Goji. In Japan, a trigger warning, ladies and gentlemen. At least a punny trigger warning, because everybody likes to equate this word with another really bad word. In Japan, they call him Negagoji.
Oh, okay. Why? Mind you, NEGA.
Yeah, NEGA. negative minus one.
Yeah. Look, I'm just gonna call them GMO. It fits the bill.
Yeah, I just call him minus Goji, and I call the protoform Odo Goji.
Which, by the way, thank you for sending me that on Sunday. It should be arriving on Tuesday. Thumbs up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I pulled
Mine's
the trigger
not
on
showing up till the 3rd of January. I'm pissed about it.
Oh, yeah, no good.
It's because I chose DHL instead of FedEx.
Ah, okay. Yeah. That was weird. I can't lie. Like, since we're talking about that was weird. I was like, wait, what is all of this extra stuff? I don't remember dealing with that when I got my 85 and Super X, beauty from Japan.
Yeah. Hobby Link Japan has like a bunch of shipping options, like way too many to the point it confuses people.
Yeah, no, it definitely got me because I was like, I thought I paid for this already. And then I went in my thing. I'm like, okay, I didn't. Thank God. All right. But I will say they do a great job of keeping you informed with emails. Like,
they do.
You've paid for this. You haven't paid for this. This is what we need to do now. And I was like, all right, I really like that email chain. Thank you. So that I give them props for. I will order from that again if they have anything I really want. But as of right now...
Oh, I definitely recommend Hobby Link Japan for a bunch of things. Ultraman, Kamen Rider, Godzilla, anime, Dragon Ball, whatever have you.
Good Lord, you're going to make me broke and Christmas is literally right around the corner.
You're welcome.
Oh, man. Speaking of, like, one of the things I hated the most yet loved this year, my collection building. That's your fault. That's you. That's JR. Honestly, a smidge of Rob, but really I can't blame him so much because he gets all of these things that I'm like, I'm not paying that. I don't care. But it was the little things, okay? Like Denzel Washington said a couple years back, it's the little things, Jimmy. Like my wall full of 7-inch reaction figures,
Like, I do believe it was me who told you that the reaction line was happening. And
yeah, and I didn't know they were doing Godzilla. I knew about like the Transformers. I've seen their Ninja Turtles and their G.I. Joes. I've seen those. I think I had Slash already from the Ninja Turtles. And it was like beautiful because it was like Playmates accurate, but in a Kenner style. And Slash was one of my favorite Playmates Ninja Turtle toys. I was like, this toy is fucking cool. And that was back in what, 88, 89, I want to say. And I love that damn thing. So when they were doing Godzilla stuff, hey. And I'll have every single one of them except for one. So, it is what it is.
Which one you missing?
I am missing the Marasan Blue, which I think is the original Marasan one that came out.
So you got your hands on the skeleton?
I do. I didn't bring him in here. Yes, he's sitting in my living room right now on the ottoman, just hanging out. But I will say,
I don't even want to take him. I don't want to even take mine out of the box because the box is such a good display with the seabed floor and all that.
Yep, and this is where I'm mad because I might have to open that box because my oxygen destroyer was out of its bed.
Oh.
So when I got the box, I heard this clink, clink, clink. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? And I'm thinking, did an arm fall off? Did the leg fall off? Like, what the fuck? Do I have a defective, Godzilla? And then when I opened it, it's the oxygen destroyer is just all over the place. So I'm like, there's those old little handheld games where it's not electronic. You're just trying to like,
get the ball in the maze.
Get the ball in the maze. That's what I'm trying to do with the oxygen because I don't want to open the damn box. But I love that fucking figure, bro. I love it. Like, if I go to my local toy store and they have it, I'll buy another one just to open. I will.
Definitely.
They're pains in the asses, man. They're a pain in the ass. I swear to God, I love Super 7 so much, but they're a pain in my ass and an absolute pain in my wallet. These figures are $20 to $25 a pop. And I got all of them.
So yeah, like buying one doesn't hurt, but like once you add them all up.
And I'm not, yo, dude, when I fucking found that 7 sells them in bulk, like I could get the entire series, that's what I was doing. I was like, I'm not going to buy them one at a time no more. I want them all. I don't even care. I'm not picking and choosing anymore. But it's like $100, $125. I spent almost $100 on 3 figures. And that was the G-Day figures. The 85 toy paint Godzilla, 85. And
yeah, the one that looks like the Imperial Godzilla,
which I got for Christmas one time. I think 1986. I got that for Christmas. Christmas. And I'll never forget, I was watching ECW, okay? When it was Extreme Championship Wrestling. And New Jack was fighting Bam Bam Bigelow. And New Jack was crazy. And he comes out with this garbage pail, right? Full of weapons. And there's chairs. And there's kendo sticks. And there's a fucking rake. And he pulls out the Imperial Godzilla. And my eyes blew out of my head. And he smashes Bam Bam Bigelow with the spine. Right in the head. Bam Bam opens up. He's gushing blood. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, he's going to kill him with Godzilla. Because that toy is hard as fuck. Like legit. That'll bust you open. Oh, I'll never forget that, man. It was one of my favorite fucking memories as a kid. Like, oh my God, look at this shit. I got that. Oh my God, he busted his head open. I digress. Yeah, Super 7. One of the best things to happen to me this year. One of the absolute worst things happened to me this year. So I'm going to put the worst part on you, Gams. It's your fault.
It is my fault.
It's your fault. Making me waste my damn money.
I've been slacking on collecting, to be honest, because I've been trying to get my financial situation in order. A bit of a peek into the whole personal life, and I've missed out on so much. Like, the catch-up's going to be real. I already have a cart in my Bai account for the Godzilla store Japan. Already it's like $200.
Oh my God. What did you got in there, bro?
I have to get the Movie Monster series Varan. I have to get Ebirah. I have to get Megaguirus. I don't have figures of any of those monsters, so the Movie Monster series Batra.
I believe I have a Megaguirus. It was in this kit that I bought in G-Fest back in, I think, 2001, maybe 2002. I don't remember. But I need a Varan. One of the biggest mistakes Mezco made was leaving Varan out of their Destroy All Monsters pack.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my
Why give us Baragon and Gorosaurus, but not Varan?
Well, Gorosaurus is an integral part of the movie. He does do the kangaroo kick to King Ghidorah, but Baragon does nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? I mean, honestly, all they needed to do, well, you needed 3 more, and then what they needed to do was throw Fire Dragon as a special in one, right? Because they're 2 boxes.
Definitely.
You throw Fire Dragon and Varon in one, and then the other one you throw Kamacuras and Kumonga. I mean, and then you have a complete set. Or Manda, for crying out loud. Where the fuck is Manda?
Manda.
Oh, Mezco, you break him off.
One box with Fire Dragon, Varan, Kumonga, and Manda.
Or you make volume 3 and you give us all of those.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I'd buy it in a heartbeat. I don't care. $105? Yeah, here it is. Here, take my money. I got a gift card somewhere.
That also reminds me of another Mezco set that I unfortunately skipped, which was the Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla set. I need to get my hands on that.
I do too. I need to get my hands on that. It was one of those things this morning. I was talking to my coworker who's also a collector, and he's older. Like, my man is in his, like, he's about to hit 60 or something, and he loves all of this. Like, he's a collector. But he likes to buy model kits and paint them. I respect that. I could never do it. Yeah, I could never do it. So he was showing me this 2019 what was he? Garage something. Garage Kid, I think he called it. And it was cool for what it was. I can't even lie. I was like, oh, that ain't bad. It doesn't have the detail of some of the figures we've seen, like, you know, higher. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't Playmates bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he bought it. He bought it. And he was like, yeah, this is going to come over Christmas weekend. And I'm going to go in my garage and I'm going to paint this thing up. And I was like, man, that's dope. So, but collecting's a bad thing, bro. I understand now why I stopped collecting a long time ago. Because I'm sitting next to my Ninja Turtles and a couple of Shredders. I've got Iceman chilling over there with a sketch Batman and a sketch Dr. Freeze, along with Dreadmon from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures, straight out of the comic, Archie Comics. Like, this is your fault. I got Gorgo hanging out over here. I got fucking Batman Beyond. This is your fault.
Wait a minute. You got the Titanic Creations Gorgo? Yeah, I'm robbing you. Be prepared. I'm coming to ransack your house.
You know what I loved about this thing? Big Ben. They got Big Ben here. They've got Mini Gorgo. They got 2 Gorgo heads. There's some planes. What else is that? I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that is. But yeah, this thing, and you know the crazy part is? I drunk ordered it.
Oh wow.
I wanted it. And I had sent a message to this Instagram dude, Dope Pope, right? Who I think created the model, the 3D model for this.
Yeah. Dope Pope actually helped with the modeling of that toy, plus the 30 centimeter X Plus style.
Yes.
That they're releasing here soon.
Which I keep getting emails to buy, and I'm like, but I got this one, and I really like this one. Yes.
Yeah, it's an action figure. It's got articulation. That's cool.
It's beautiful, bro. It's beautiful. So I drunk bought it, and then I forgot that I did. So now in my head, I thought I was in a multiverse. The multiverse version of me bought it, and I didn't buy it because I couldn't find any confirmation emails. And now the thing said sold out, and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I fucking missed it. And one day, I had a fucking ring on my door. I opened the door, and there's this package, and I grab it. It's got my name on it. I open it up, and that bad boy's in there. And I was just like, thank you. Thank you, Multiverse me. Thank you. I was. It's a beautiful figure. It really is, honestly. And I feel shitty because I don't have any room to display it, but I want to display it. And I'm hoping in the new year I'll figure something out and change my arrangement over here. But it's a beautiful figure, man. And just looking at it, I mean, it's still just looking at it in the box.
Yeah.
They really did go out of their way to give fans something special there. And what they do, independent toys, their kaiju.
Yeah, most of the time, it's Titanic Creation. They make Bandai style vinyl toys, but for their own original creations. And those never sell. But
but it drives me crazy because Dope Pope had on his page one day GODZILLA. Okay.
Oh,
and
the X from outer space.
I need me an X from outer space. I need me an X from outer space the way I need Michael Dougherty to put Rodan's original Raw and King of the Monsters. I need an X from outer space. I need GODZILLA. Like, I need it. You don't understand. Me and my brother run around, and when something stupid, not even it's something stupid, but we'll just randomly be like, GODZILLA. Like if we do something like that, only we will catch, it's a GODZILLA. I swear to God, I need one. Because it's one of the most unique fucking kaiju I've ever seen, first off.
Yeah, it's right up there with Ultraman kaiju.
Oh my God, that's a perfect fucking example. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So yeah, I saw that and I was like, I want one of those. And damn it, Titanic Creations ain't making any of those. I thought that's where they were. I was like, oh, please.
I mean, one thing that I actually want to get into in order to supplement my crippling lack of being on top of actually collecting the official stuff is getting a 3D printer. I want to get a 3D printer so I can buy all of these models from Dope Pope, because the 3D models themselves are only like 25 to $50 a pop.
Yeah.
And with those, I can print as much as I want. All I have to do is have the actual materials and the printer, of course.
Yep. So my coworker I was telling you about, he bought himself a 3D printer, and I think he said he spent about $75, but he's got 100 print images for all different types of characters, and they range. The majority of it is superheroes from Marvel and DC. So I'm shocked that you can get away with doing that, because I'm like, wait a minute, isn't that
yeah. I mean, with a 3D printer, I'll finally be able to have a figure of Scylla from King of the Monsters or Methuselah.
Yeah. Yeah, I need one of those. Definitely. Maybe I'll talk to my coworker and be like, hey, what if I bought this for you and paid you for material and just let it rock? You buy, make it for me. Let it rock. Pretty please.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Just like buy the 3D model and like email it to him and be like, hey, can you print this out for me?
Yeah. Because I'll paint it, or I'll make an attempt at painting it. Maybe I'll send it to JR and let JR paint it for me.
JR, he'll paint it.
No, JR.
Did you see his repaint of the X Plus Rodan?
It's looking good. It really, he's getting that higher touch on it. Did you see the higher Rodan that's coming out next year?
I did.
My God, that's the one I want. I can't lie. I'm going to buy that one. That looked fantastic. And I love the color scheme on it. But I really love what JR is doing. I do. I ain't going to tell him that. If he listens to this podcast, JR, thumbs up. But yeah, no, that looks fantastic. I don't know. I never was able to do that with model kits. I couldn't put them together. I couldn't paint. Like, it's just not my, I get frustrated quick, and I'm a very patient guy, but I just don't have the skill.
Yeah, I get that. I'm very hesitant on painting things myself, because I just don't trust my hand being steady or anything like that,
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like I would be working for NECA or SH Monster Arts when I do the eyeballs. Don't hire me, you know what I'm saying? It'd be terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But other than that, when it comes to like wrapping up 2023, I think I got most of it out of the way, It's been just a very busy and not much consuming entertainment kind of year. It's been mostly work and watch YouTube, unfortunately.
Tell me about it. I mean, like, it's work, and I've read a lot of comics this year online, but they were all like omnibuses from previous years, things I might have missed. So, but no, yeah, I think that's it. 2023 in a nutshell. 43 minutes, not bad, which would give us a good amount of time for me to put together this tier list. Now, do I need to open any links and do this, or like how am I supposed to do this?
All you gotta do is basically go into the link that I sent you to go into the tier maker. Okay. Let me re-pull it up for you.
Yeah,
because it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, little experiment for us.
Before we do that, let me ask you a question real quick. What do you think about Black and White -1?
Oh, I'm excited. I hope, at the very bare minimum, we get that alternate cut on the Blu-ray.
What's the ultimate cut contain?
Well,
you mean the black and white? Okay, the black and white cut.
It's just in black and white. I would love to have that as like an option. You could, on the Blu-ray, you could either watch it in color or black and white.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. I'll be honest with you, I never understood the black and white version of Shin Godzilla. I was like, this doesn't need a black and white cut.
Well, definitely not, because Shin Godzilla takes place in the quote-unquote modern day in 2016.
Plus, there's a lot of colorful stuff that's happening there that I would like to see in color.
Yeah, definitely. whereas -1 feels a little more, to me, a little more in line because it takes place in the 40s,
Yeah.
and films back then weren't in color; they were in black and white.
Except for The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only one I can think of from
I think it was
all
the
the way
first,
back then.
because it's the first one that was ever in color. And I don't know. I'm not getting into The Wizard of Oz and when it came out, but it was in the 40s. Had to be. Watch it be in the 30s. But no, I digress. What I do love about -1, and this is why I don't like a black and white version. There's a certain film grain to that movie that I like. I don't know. I'm gonna get, like I said, I'm gonna see it again Friday, and I might go see it again on Christmas Day because it'll be a Christmas gift to me. I go see John McClane in the morning, and then Godzilla still in the morning because they're playing that shit at 10:30 in the morning, and
Oh wow!
for me that's 3 o'clock in the afternoon for me. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm up, I'm at it. But yeah,
that's definitely a matinee.
absolutely. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Oh my God, do I gotta download the movies? Oh, they're all here for me, just waiting.
Yeah, they're all right there. All you got to do is drag and drop.
Holy shit, they even got the trilogy and Singular Point and Monarch?
They do.
Nope. This list is busted.
The only things that are missing are the 1998 cartoon and the Hanna-Barbera
And the
cartoon.
Hanna-Barbera, yep, it's busted. It's busted list. Because you got 98 up here, so then the fucking cartoon should follow suit. Busted list. Oh shit, they even got King of the Monsters. Look at this shit. Oh, okay. Wait, so what do I do? Just drag and drop?
Just drag and drop.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is all happening in real time. This is all happening in real time.
If you want to save the picture for later, once you complete the list, I would suggest creating a tier above S tier for that stupid watermark that tier maker loves to put in the top right corner of the image.
Oh yeah, I ain't got no problem with that. Like I said, I'm doing this for the sake of this particular podcast, the sake of our final episode of G1 versus Z1. Because, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. I saw something in his fucking list that he ain't going. I don't like it. I don't like it. He knows what it is.
Oh, you don't agree with my list, do you?
No, I don't agree with one particular thing on your list. You doof, I love you to death. I can't believe it. Did you know? But you know. All right, let me put this list together. Let's see. All right, S tier, right? That's like super Saiyajin. All right, S tier. Am I supposed to put these movies like in order if they came out or just like random? Because I don't want to try to play favorites. These are just my S tier list. How would I go? How would you go about doing that?
So how I went about doing it is I looked at because like with the actual images at the bottom that you can see there, it's all in release order. So yes. I just thought about each movie and dragged and dropped them into whatever tier I felt like they fit best. So like Godzilla 1954, I put it in S. Godzilla Raids Again, I think I put it in D.
Yeah, I didn't like that. One of those things I didn't like, but it might have been F. Or you renamed F. But I digress. We'll get to it when we get to it. Yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it. You dirty, rotten scoundrel. So it wasn't, but was it like, okay, my favorite was X Godzilla movie, and then, so I put that first in my S tier, and then my second favorite, or you just was like, went in, the order it came out year-wise?
No, I did not go order it came out. I did do some rearranging. Like within the S tier, I rearranged things so that -1 was first because that's my new favorite Godzilla movie, and then it was 54, and then Shin, and then etc.
Okay. So all right, so you did it by favorites, and then went down the list.
Yeah.
Okay, I ain't mad at you. I'm not gonna do that if they're. Oh my goodness gracious! Hang on, I'm picking up a faint signal, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna press pause on this real quick, and we'll be right back. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Well, I'm sorry we had to take that time out real quick, but I am back, and again, I am going through this thing that Gam has set me up with, this tier list that I'm going to attempt to make right now. So Gams, you put your S tier as your, starting with your favorite Godzilla movie, and then so on and so forth. But I'm
Kind of,
allowed.
sort of. Yeah, yeah. At first, I just like looked at the movie, thought about it, put it in the tier list, put it in a specific tier, went through every movie, and then I rearranged them within the tiers afterwards.
Man, you know what? I mean, now I think about it, that's a good idea. Oh, and even though I've seen, -1 now, I think three times, 4 times, I've seen other movies more than that, right? Because we've had them for so long, right? So they are like, personal movies. They're a part of me. They're things I just gravitate towards. But when, like Darth Vader told Luke, search your feelings, it be true. Where do it go? We're stuck in this limbo here, and that's where I'm at right now. So you know what? I don't know how easy it was for you and JR and Rob and everybody else on the Discord server to go through these. And you said you did multiple tiers. I'm over here having a hard time with just one.
Yeah.
And it's the movie one. Now, I think when it comes to like the Godzilla looks and shit, that'll be pretty easy. But this movie one, man, okay. Oh, man. Should I announce them as I go along and then have you yell at me or correct me or agree with me?
Yeah, we could do that. We could just go down the list, starting with 54.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna put them in favorites order. I'm gonna put them in the tier order. Okay. So yes, first one, because it was the first one, the OG 54 Gojira. I mean, honestly, that's as close as perfection to a giant monster movie as you're gonna get outside of Gamera 3 and Godzilla -1. Just saying. It really is. It is the jumpstart to the. It's not the first kaiju movie, but it is the first great one. The first one that was acknowledged, and the first one.
Yeah.
And if I'm lying, this wouldn't be true. But Godzilla is the biggest franchise of all time, just in terms of length of films.
It's got the Guinness World Record for longest running movie franchise.
And that doesn't come without accolades. So, yeah, the original one definitely up there in the tier list. Right off the bat, I gotta go my number 2. I can't because it's my favorite Godzilla movie of all time. And that is Godzilla 1985, aka Return of the Godzilla 84. You know what it is. That is the one I watch every year on my birthday. You know what's crazy? I'll watch 54 2 to 3 times a year. I really would. I watched Godzilla, Return to Godzilla. I watch it once on my birthday. This is my favorite Godzilla movie. -1 is going to get there. When I get -1 home, that's where things I think is going to change. Because the last time I watched it in the theater, I'm telling you, I had literal tears of emotion. Hearing the soundtrack, the way it's bombastic and fits and just flows perfectly. It's absolutely S tier, and that's the next one. And that oh wait. Fuck. I don't like this game. Why you got me doing this shit? I don't like this. You got me thinking too hard. Critical thinking is not my thing, man. Oh man. Shit. Because here's the deal. There are about 2 to 3 movies in the Showa era where I'm like, ooh, does this belong in S? But the A tier is not bad either, and I think that's where they belong. But then I'm like, ooh.
I will say there are a couple of Showa movies that are in my personal S tier. Invasion of Astro Monster is one of them. Godzilla vs. Hedorah is one of them.
Invasion of Astro Monster, really?
Yeah, I fucking love Invasion of Astro Monster, dude.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do, is this what we're gonna do? We didn't even talk about this at the beginning. I'm gonna put my tier together and then we're gonna compare?
Yeah, we can compare. Heck yeah.
All right, I'm picking up a faint signal real quick. Let me head into therapy. Okay, podcasting. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when we're doing it live. That probably will go off again, no problem. All right. Okay, so all right, I got Damn. There's some Showa bangers in there.
There is.
Damn.
There is.
Oh, this one drives me crazy. Because, again, now I'm playing favoritism, right? And I don't want to. I wanted to do it in chronological order. I think that's how it's deserved to be. But at the same time, shit. Fuck.
I mean, why not do chronological order? Where do you think Godzilla Raids Again should be?
Honestly, B++, but we don't have a B++, right?
Yeah.
I honestly enjoy that movie. I do. But fuck me. Okay. We're able to arrange them? Oh shit, we are, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, yeah.
Heck, you can even rename the tiers themselves if you want.
I noticed. Gam. I noticed. See? Picking up a faint signal. Okay. Here we go. I gotta throw Showas in there. I do. S tier Showa because honestly, I gotta be honest. And this might be blasphemous, but I don't care. Ghidorah, the three-headed monster.
Ghidorah, you're putting that in S tier?
S tier. That movie, you know what? Because it was the first time they brought together creatures from 3 different movies. Kaiju from...
It's true.
And honestly, the birth of Ghidorah is one of my favorite scenes in anything. That version.
Oh, yeah.
That version. Okay? I'll give you. Hats off. The way King Ghidorah was born in the Heisei series, I was like, ooh. There is something fucking visceral and visually stunning for that time seeing Ghidorah born out of this meteorite in flames. I love that. That's such an iconic shot.
I mean, there's a reason Godzilla PS4 gave the Showa Ghidorah entrance to Heisei King Ghidorah, because it's cooler.
Facts. All right, so that one goes there, definitely. You know what else goes there in my S tier, honestly? And this is all personal, right? This isn't how other people view things. This is personal, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's your opinion.
Okay, so in my personal opinion, S tier, my next S tier Showa movie, and this is the last S tier Showa movie. Terror of Mechagodzilla, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, I have Terror of Mechagodzilla in mind as well.
It is first off, it's Ishiro Honda's last Godzilla movie.
Mm-hmm.
So you got that going for it. It's the 25th anniversary of Godzilla. So you got that going for it. It is
I thought it was the 20th.
That's it. That's what I wanted to say. The 20th anniversary. Don't be smart. Ha! Just kidding. It is the 20th anniversary of Godzilla. It is honestly, it's the best Mechagodzilla movie on this list. And you know what? I'm lying. No, it is. It is. But you know what else makes my S tier? Boom, boom, boom.
Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. I saw that coming.
Boom, boom, wah. Boom, 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 boom. That shit right there. Listen, the theme along is one of Ifukube's best themes ever made. I'm sorry if I butchered the name. You know I'm talking about, the maestro himself. That theme right there rivals the fucking march. And I love old school Godzilla music, but crying out loud, Mechagodzilla's theme in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, 1993. Oh my God. But then again, it's not only that. It's one of my favorite Godzilla designs. We got Thunder Thighs in that one for the first time. We got fucking Minya shows up, even though he's not Minya, he's Baby. And then that Mecha guy. Oh, Rodan's in the movie. Rodan, yes. Although
Rodan,
not my favorite Rodan design, I'll be honest with you. But fuck, Rodan's in the movie, yes. And then this Mecha Godzilla. I mean, I love the fact that what they did, how they made this Mechagodzilla, using future tech.
Yeah. Tying it into the the worst movie in the franchise. We'll get into it.
In your opinion, but yeah, no, that I love. And then honestly, no offense to Millennium, but I bypass it. My S tier, the next one I go, truthfully, I can't even lie, because it subverted my expectations. Mr. Gareth Edwards, 2014, Godzilla. Fucked me up.
That's fair.
Fucked me up. I sat there, I said, whoa, what the fuck? I thought Godzilla was going to be a bad guy. No. What Gareth Edwards did was he made Godzilla the savior of the earth. He brought Showa into the modern day. And he did it well. And I love that movie. So every time I think about Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla 2014 being my favorite legendary MonsterVerse movie, man, I think about that. Because if it wasn't for Showa, I would not love Godzilla. And that movie made me realize why I love Godzilla. That one. Take the human element and actors out. That is pinnacle. That is Godzilla. That is Terror of Mechagodzilla to me. The pinnacle of hero Godzilla. That right there. And then obviously, I mean, look, there's no mistake in it. There's no mistake in it. Wait. It is. Right now, the greatest Godzilla movie of our time. Seriously.
-1, yes.
Godzilla -1, seriously. And it got to go in chronological order. When I get my hands on this movie at home, I'm going to watch the shit out of it. Like, my wife is going to hate me. I don't care. But she loved the movie too. My daughter loved this movie. My wife, I swear to God, got up and said, I'm leaving. She got up and said, I'm leaving. When, oh my God.
Nordico got blown away.
She said, I'm gone. And I was like, sit your ass down. You ain't seen nothing yet. I love this movie. This is definitely, by far, without a fucking doubt, movie of the year, in my opinion. It is. And there were some bangers this year. Bangers that I sat back and I said, they are ticking all of my boxes for my nostalgic feels. But Godzilla -1 said, hold my beer. Hold my sake. That's what it said. It said, hold my sake.
Yeah.
And I love it. So my S tier rankings, again, chronological order, subject to change, depending on the love for them. But chronological order: Gojira 54, King Ghidorah, right? Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, fucking, it's just the best. Terror of Mechagodzilla, oh, I love you. Godzilla 1985, aka Return of Godzilla, my fucking favorite of all time. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, 1993, great, fucking best score ever. Gareth Edwards 2014, and then Godzilla -1. Good Lord have mercy. That's the perfect one. Yeah, you can fight me.
That is quite the stacked S tier list. I quite enjoyed that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many did you have on your S?
Let me see. I had. There it is. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
On S?
Double. Yeah.
Good Lord have mercy, on S. Oh, nice. Okay. Bam. Okay. Wow. Okay, so when we get to it. But I thought you were trolling on one of those. I thought you were legit trolling. But okay. You know I love you. That's all I gotta say. You know I love you. Listen, I can't put that there because there was only one scene that made that fucking, but I digress. We'll get to it when we get to it. A tier, here we go.
All right.
A tier, first one, right off the bat. Right off the bat, A tier. It's King Kong versus Godzilla. You know why?
Oh, hell yeah.
Because it's King Kong versus Godzilla, right? What?
It was literally the movie that, like, if you don't count 54 or the 56 version with Raymond Burr being the movie that put Godzilla on the map, it was King Kong versus Godzilla.
Absolutely. I can't knock this movie. And let me tell you something. While it's not my favorite out of the bunch, I absolutely recognize it for what it has done. It is... Look, you can have Frankenstein versus the Wolfman and all that shit, right? But those were under the same fucking Universal Studio monsters when they were coming out back in the day. This was the first fucking international crossover.
It was.
No, that's there. It's not S tier because honestly, it's not that good. Let me phrase that. It's not as good to me personally as the ones I have in my S tier. But for the love of God, that movie right there. And it's so good that Godzilla -1 ate the soundtrack. That's a joke.
They did.
Second one on my A tier, obviously, it can't go without saying, because if it wasn't for Ghidorah the three-headed monster, this would be S tier. But my second A tier is definitely Mothra versus Godzilla.
Oh yeah, Mothra versus Godzilla is right up there. Mothra versus Godzilla used to be in my S tier, but as I've gotten older and rewatched the film a few times, that final battle between Godzilla and the Mothra larvas was kind of slow.
It's very slow. They pad that runtime for the human element. Oh, there's children all of a sudden. Oh, yes, introduce the children going to the island. Still, it's one of the best, and they reuse that constantly. I mean, just look at one of my least favorite movies. We'll get there when we get there. We'll get there when we get there. But no, this movie right here, Mothra versus Godzilla, a.k.a. Godzilla versus The Thing, for those who live in America, which was a terrible box art, by the way, definitely lies to you. This is a classic, and not only that, but to me personally, my favorite Showa costume. That's my favorite Showa look. It's a lot of people's favorite Showa look.
The Mosugoji is probably one of the most definitive Godzilla designs out there.
Oh, absolutely. If I was in the conversation yesterday, that's in the S rank. It's in the S rank. It's perfection. That's honestly, for the time, it doesn't get any better than that. And it never did. It never did. Even though I love the superhero look from Megalon on, it never comes close to that. That, to me, is the definitive Showa Godzilla in terms of look. What's up next with my A tiers? Let's look, let's see. Nope. Definitely nope. Oh, here we are. You ready for this?
Oh.
Godzilla versus Biollante. Easy. Again,
all right.
I'm going in chronological order. I have to bypass a lot of that Showa shit. I'm sorry, I do. Listen, I do love Astro Monster. It ain't Godzilla versus Biollante. It ain't that. Oh my God. You know what else it ain't is? Gam in my A tier. Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. You know it. Oh, look at the picture. Look at that picture. That's the box art I got. That's the box I got. That's my VHS picture right there. When I saw that, when I saw that picture, I had never seen the movie. When I saw that box, when I got that for Christmas back in 1996, was it 6? Yes, 1996 Christmas, okay? Because I was with my wife now going on a whole year. Me and her started dating in January 1996, December 1996. Because I made her watch every single one of these movies. Because I just got them for Christmas, the entire Heisei saga. That box art right there blew my head off. And I wasn't ready. Granted, I get the time travel. I thought about this a lot when I saw your little list when you put it up the other day and say we should do this. I saw what you did. But it did make me think. It did. It got my juices going. And I said, I get it. The time traveling aspect of this movie is no good. But on the same side of the token, it gave us a Godzillasaurus. It gave us lore. It gave us lore to Godzilla that we have never seen before. And it opens up later on in the Heisei series, which I love. But this box art right here, this one I'm looking at, that is what I had on my VHS tape. And I absolutely loved it because not only was this dope-ass Godzilla, honestly, S-tier rank, suit-wise, but this newly formed King Ghidorah, this newfound King Ghidorah, gone is the curly hair, and here is these horns, these crowns, and I loved it. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? I didn't even see the movie yet, and I was already hooked. But on top of that, then you get new King Ghidorah. Oh my God, Mecha King Ghidorah. Are you kidding me or what? Oh, yes! Everything about that thing rocked. I don't give a fuck. I loved it. Oh, Mecha King Ghidorah. You my favorite King Ghidorah of all time. I don't care. Granted, Ghidorah the three-headed monster is in my S rank, but Mecha King Ghidorah? Oh, man. S rank number 1 when it comes to King Ghidorahs. That being said, what else is in my A?
Before we do just a bit of an interjection, I may hate that movie with a passion. I'm still looking forward to getting the Orai Noriyoshi poster because I bought those.
I got those at G-Fest 20 some odd years ago. I got those at G-Fest, but they're small ones. They're not the actual posters. They're the
mine are going to be 11 by 17.
Fuck you. You lucky motherfucker. So all I gotta say, my next A-list tier, listen, be prepared for a theme here. Godzilla vs. Mothra. 1993. No, 92. I gotta be honest, I was hooked.
I see the Heisei bias bubbling up.
Oh, it's here. It's ready to go. Everything A tier right here. Here we go. Listen, this movie, I know it gets shitted on. I understand it. You know what had me hooked? It wasn't even Godzilla or Mothra. It was Indiana Jones.
I did like... I found that aspect of the human story entertaining. I did.
As soon as they start with doing Indiana Jones, I was like, what the fuck? But then when you meet... when you know who this character is, and I think this is... To me, this movie had the strongest character development in the entire Heisei series. You got Mickey, who's honestly, I can't even put Mickey in it because Mickey is the arc, right? She's the arc. She's from the beginning and she's at the end. But this one, Tetsuo, whatever his name was, from being a thief to coming to terms with how wrong it is, was dope. But there's also this comedic element about this movie that's so underplayed that I love it. For instance, when he meets Masako for the first time, not meets her for the first time, but when she comes up and, my ex-wife is here. Why? And then she's trying to explain to him like, yo, we can use you and we'll get you out of jail free. And he's like, yeah, nah, I'm going to just hang here. And then she gives him the bad news that it's going to take about, he'll be in there for like 15 years or some shit. And he starts to cry out of the... Man, listen. To me, that is hysterical. Masako-san! Because he's this like, fuck you. And then he's pleading for his life. I love that. Man. And then, honestly, it's a dope movie. Godzilla looks fantastic in this. Fantastic. We get a brand new kaiju, which I didn't even talk about with Biollante, but we get a brand new kaiju in Batra. We get this lore. Again, lore. That Mothra and Batra used to fight because they were yin and yang over Earth. It's dope. It really is dope. Is it the best of the Heisei series? Absolutely not. But it falls here because of chronological order.
I mean, true, and a lot of fans' complaints about how, oh, it's barely a Godzilla movie. He's barely in it. Mothra's cool. Why aren't you here for Mothra? You know?
I mean, we got the show, not even Shojubin. We got the Cosmos here. See, and that was another thing I did like with this movie, which is why it's here in A rank. The idea of the Cosmos, right? Being here from the beginning of Earth and what they've done, and then having to, basically face these catastrophes due to Mothra's battles with Batra. I love that lore. They were doing something new. And the fact that it kind of stuck together, again, this is why when I was younger, I was like, oh my God, I want to make a sequel to this. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then I see it done this past year, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
The Gemstone shorts.
The Gemstone shorts. They did it, and they did it really fucking well. They ain't do it as good as I would have done it, but they did it damn well. I can't lie. They did it damn well.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't your idea to do Megalon?
Yeah, so my idea was, I mean, because if you take Batra's face and then look at Megalon, it's the same thing. It's the same
very
thing.
Similar.
You got the horn crown, the crown horn, or whatever you want to call it. You got the mandible jaws. It's the same thing. So that's I was going to do that. And the theme to what I was building to in my head was that evolution. It was all about evolving. And the Heisei series built to that because you see the evolution of Godzilla pretty much when we get to where we get to. But yeah, that's my number 3. Now, the next movie in the series is already in my S tier list, so we can't really talk about that. So, the next movie in my A list is, and this should be an S tier, it really should be, but it is Destroyer. You know it. You already called it. That's
really?
Yeah, it is.
I was actually expecting you to put Destroyer in S, personally.
And I should have. You know what I hate, though? I hate Godzilla dying. I fucking hate it.
Oh, it gets on the heartstrings too much?
Ah, man, listen. And it should be up there. But like you said, when it comes to watching the movie, right? With the Meg, for instance. And this is, by no way I'm trying to compare this to Meg 2. This movie is fucking fantastic, and it hits all the elements that, now that I think about it, yeah, you know what? It goes right behind Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 in the S rank. Yes, it does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 S tier movies. I lied. What am I talking about? It's got everything. It's got throwbacks to the original 54 movie. It's an S rank movie. You got Emiko, S rank movie. We talk about Oxygen Destroyer, S rank movie. Oxygen Destroyer is a creation of this new devil monster. S rank movie. Absolutely. Godzilla Meltdown. Why didn't I think about that? I'm stupid. That's my fault. My bad. I should have put it up there. I wasn't thinking. It makes me sad.
It's okay. That's why this is live. It's why you talk about it, you think about it, and you put it where you feel is best,
We definitely do. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm picking up another faint signal. We're going to have to take a quick time out. And we're back once again, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize. Sometimes things just get in the way. But we are here, and we're still on the A tier. Last thing I left off with on my A tier was Godzilla vs. Mothra, 1992. And again, it's a good fun flick. I get it. People don't like it. It's not the strongest in the Godzilla hierarchy. I get it. And should I have, certain Showa movies here before that? Maybe, but they're already on my S tier. So there you go. There you have it. What comes next? Well, it definitely, like I said, we just finished with the Godzilla vs. Destroyer going to S tier. What comes after Godzilla Destroyer? Oh, the Millennial series. Well then, now we're cooking. Because here's the deal. Absolutely right. Wait a minute. No, I'm lying. Because right after Godzilla vs. Destroyer, Look, I understand. People might not like it. They might not dig it. I get it. But you know what? For me, Trizilla, Sonyzilla, Godzilla 1998. Yeah, I said it.
In A tier?
A tier. It's an A tier. Just so happens to be an A tier. Listen, I'm going to tell you why. Because this movie, honestly, fucked me up. It did. Is it a Godzilla movie? No. No. Is it a fun monster movie? Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. This movie's a fun monster movie. It's a dumb, fun monster movie. It just so happens to have the name Godzilla slapped to it. Now, people get mad at that. I get it. I get it. But you know what? I have as much fun with this movie than I do any other movies on this A tier. I do. Look at King Kong versus Godzilla. It's a goofy movie. It's a goofy. Mm-hmm. They play it like a Japanese wrestling match from that time. Godzilla 98 is very tongue-in-cheek also. The problem is they didn't make Godzilla. Because if they would have made Godzilla and then made this movie, oh no, this would have been the worst Godzilla movie ever made. But the fact of the matter is this, they did not make Godzilla. They made the beast of 20,000 fathoms and they just slapped the name Godzilla on it, gave Godzilla a huge elephant roar, and then a little bit of Godzilla in between. But it's not Godzilla. But it's still fun. And the fact of the matter is that it has slapped the name Godzilla on it, and it's a good, fun movie. Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I put it up there with my 8 rankings. Only because they don't have Godzilla this series on here. Because that apes this. Godzilla series is more Godzilla than Godzilla 98. But it's not on definitely. This. I can't choose it here. So I can't put it here. But I would have put that here instead of this. But because that's not here, this goes there because of what it brings later. This movie is fun. It's fun. I understand people might get mad. Again, it's all in the name. That's what you're getting mad at. The name. But this ain't Godzilla. And if you can look at that at this ain't Godzilla, then you're going to have a fucking fun time with this movie. That's how I view it. That's why it's in my A list. Definitely.
That's a lot of fish.
Huh?
That's a lot of fish.
That's a lot of fish. But what else is in my A ranks? Listen. The answer to 98. G2K Millennium. Look. When I first saw that design of Godzilla, I was like, yo, what the fuck? I was thrown off. You've got Godzilla from King Kong versus Godzilla with these giant spikes on his back. That's what this is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But
it's basically the Godzilla from King Kong versus Godzilla, but spikier, bigger back plates, and green. And
it works on every fucking level. Now, this isn't here, because maybe I ran into the suit creator, Mr. Wakasa-san. But yeah, it is. Because that guy was fucking fantastic. He was such a fucking beautiful person. Like that, when I met him at G-Fest and we smoked a couple of cigarettes together standing outside, and his English was good. It was good. It wasn't as broken as you might think. I mean, there might have been a somewhat of barrier, but we understood each other. And just talking to him, not even asking him, like, why did you do this with Godzilla? I wasn't a reporter. I was a fan. I was fanboying out when I met this dude. And you can tell that his love for Godzilla was there. I love it. And this movie it's so good. It's a love story. Granted, I wanted a Godzilla movie on, like a solo Godzilla movie. I wanted G54. I wanted G84. I wanted this to be solo. But we get a UFO. Fuck it. Take it. Take it. You know why? Because G98 tried to do solo. And for me, it worked. Yeah. But yeah, it is what it is. The iguana gets killed. But this guy doesn't. And oh man, this one is perfect. And honestly, the soundtrack, the special effects, some of the shot selections in this movie is fucking fantastic. Godzilla's roar is Godzilla, but it's also 98, but it's also Godzilla, right? And then they went even further and they said, you know what? We're not even, look, if 98 is trying to change the game, we're going to change the game. What are we going to do? We're going to give him a red spiral breath forever. That's Godzilla's new thing. And I was like, what? And I loved it. Oh, not to mention the whole conspiracy about, is this Junior? Is this Junior? Oh, God, I was there. I lived that. I lived that.
That was all over the fandom for years.
Oh, for years. I was in the middle of that. I was in the mix. That was the heyday of Godzilla up until 2005. Man, that was the heyday of Godzilla right there because I had internet access. I already had the Heisei series and watched them a billion times. But this was new. This was the first time I could actually talk to other people about it. And it was crazy. It was fucking crazy.
Now, if you notice, Godzilla 2000, for me, at least in terms of this tier list, is in C tier, and that is only for one reason. It's the Japanese poster, thus it means it's the Japanese version. I don't like the Japanese version that much. I prefer the American cut.
We've had this discussion off air a couple of times. I ain't mad at you. I get that. I respect that. I do. But C tier? Really? C?
The editing is so awkward in the movie. Like if you remember, like when the military was first attacking Godzilla in that water channel,
right? And
you see him charging his breath, but he never does it. He doesn't actually fire his breath until the UFO shows up. So why is he charging his breath?
No,
why is he doing that?
No,
it's weird. It's awkward.
No, they show why. They show why. He got distracted because the planes swoop down and shoot him in the face. And then there's this big ass cloud on his face. Then now he's confused and he stops charging his breath because he can't see where he's gonna shoot. Then the UFO shows up and he goes, oh, there it is. Boop. That's why. Watch it again. It's all there. It's all there. It's all there. This was the first Godzilla movie I owned that didn't have subtitles. This was the first one.
So you just watched it raw.
I watched it raw. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I mean owned. Because I seen Megaguirus without subtitles, but that was at G-Fest. And then I owned GMK without subtitles. Yeah, first Godzilla movie. My first kaiju movie without subtitles that I owned was Gamera 3. That was the first one I owned without subtitles. But eventually that came around. But yeah, G2K, Godzilla Millennium, this was A tier, definitely belongs there. The next A tier Godzilla movie, honestly, GMK, hands down, without a fucking doubt. This is my favorite movie of the Millennium Saga. Okay.
I mean, GMK's S tier for me, personally.
I would have put it S tier, but studio meddling.
Yeah, if it was the original vision with Godzilla and Geras and Varan.
Yes, and the reason why I say that is because I just mentioned Gamera 3. Shusuke Kaneko should have gotten his way with Toho. He was already a fucking visionary when it comes to kaiju movies. I would have said, oh, okay. And again, I think this is a flaw in Toho because their pride is weighing them down here and messing them up. But I would have looked at the Gamera trilogy and I would have said, okay, you did that. Okay, you really, really, really rivaled us. We had to kill Godzilla after fucking Gamera 2. We had to kill Godzilla because you made such a fantastic kaiju movie. We had to kill Godzilla because of you. And then you go and make Gamera 3. Motherfucker, I would have gave him anything he wanted. Here's the keys to the castle. Here it is. Do what you want. So that's the only reason why I don't put it on the S tier, because that studio interference bothers me a bit. Still a fantastic film.
Basically, Toho's going, oh, and Geras and Varan, those aren't going to sell tickets. Put in Mothra and King Ghidorah.
Yeah, and Geras, who's been in more movies than Baragon, and you're really going to do that? Come on, man. Maybe they didn't want to kill Anguirus like that, but Anguirus is used to dying like that. Like, Anguirus got his jaw ripped open twice. We can do it again.
Mm-hmm.
We can do it again. So yeah, that is the only reason. But outside of that, this is one of those Godzilla movies that is pinnacle. Like, if you were to tell people these are the Godzilla movies you got to watch. This is always going to be on the list, especially because of modern times, right? This is a perfect modern Godzilla. It emphasizes what Godzilla is, or what we think he is originally in 54. He's evil. It's just, this is what it is. This is why Godzilla -1 works so much. While he looks innocent, there's nothing innocent about him. He's coming to kill you. I love it. This Godzilla is like, no, I'm not gonna look innocent at all. I ain't got no eye. I got no pupils. I'm here to kill. I am the ghost of Christmas past and present and future. If you look at the ending, I'm here to kill you. But again, I don't like this version of King Ghidorah. I don't like the suit at all. At all. I hate it. It's my least favorite King Ghidorah suit. Baragon is cool, and Mothra shoots shit. So, but outside of that, it's fantastic, you know. But my A tier ain't done, man. This is a long one. My A tier is long, bro. Because next up on the A tier, I can't lie. I know everybody hates this movie, but it to me.
Oh, is it Final Wars?
Gojira. Final Wars! Yes! Yeah! Yo. This almost made S tier. It really almost did. But when I really looked at it, I said, you know what? With the S tier, there was something still, I don't know, dramatic about these movies. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at every one of the S tier, there's still some kind of this, like good drama, good acting in these movies. Final Wars, there's no good acting. It's all balls to the walls.
Final Wars is not that movie. Final Wars just takes everything, says fuck it, and throws in the Matrix with Godzilla.
Not only the Matrix, but Independence Day and Star Wars. It is the campiest of camp when it comes to Godzilla, and it works. And I get why people hate it, because it's supposed to be the 50th anniversary movie of Godzilla. And yes, maybe we should have gotten a 50th anniversary. Maybe we should have gotten a -1 here. Maybe we should have gotten something like -1 here. But no. Ryohei Kitamura said, nah, you know what? I really like Destroy All Monsters. I'm going to remake that. And it's Godzilla's greatest hits. Yeah, there's no Mecha Godzilla, granted. Fine. But everybody else shows up. Everybody Godzilla has fought has shown up in this movie. And it is, Kumonga, Kamacuras, they're there. Hidora, Ibara, they're there. And this has the best one-liners in any Godzilla movie. Seriously, sorry, I'm a vegetarian. Stop. If we're doing a tier list for best lines, that's S tier. Oh, God, I love it so much. This movie...
Right up there with Take That, You Dinosaur. If we're doing a best line tier list, my number one S tier line, my number one would be, you have your fear, what might become reality, and then you have Godzilla, which is reality. That line... from the King of the Monsters 1956 dub.
Yo, that right there is the greatest Godzilla line in history. Period. And I am so mad that wasn't a Japanese... I'm so mad that wasn't a line of dialogue in the original movie. Because that right there encapsulates Godzilla. But that's a different story, right? Mm-hmm. Final Wars had everything. It's balls to the walls. We got an upgraded Gigan. We got Monster X, which turns out to be a fucking brand new iteration of King Ghidorah. It is fucking nuts. You've got, like you said, you got the Matrix. You got mutants, humans. You got a soundtrack that you love to hate. Because I hate that soundtrack, yet I love it. There are certain tunes in that soundtrack where it's like, keep it going. Minya comes back. Legit Minya. Not baby. Not little. Not chibi. No, legit Minya is in this movie. We ain't seen him since. Mm-hmm. All of that shit combined, man, this is one epic, literally might be the most epic Godzilla movie ever made in terms of scope and what they've done and how they brought everything together. It's a fucking balls to the walls flick. And it's absolutely in my A tier, which brings me to my... oh, shit. See, here's the problem I have, Gams. Here's the problem I run into. Because I look at some of these other ones here, especially this TV show in particular. And how do I... Because, this is one scene that to me is one of the greatest scenes of all time. I've said it a million times. Episode 10, the last 5 minutes.
Yep.
That's all you need in life. When you want to watch a Godzilla thing, this is what I'm going to put on. Animated. This is it. You want to see Godzilla? This is it. It's all you need in life. But that to me is the only thing. And that's where I'm like, do I put this here? Because of this one scene when it was, 13 episodes?
Yeah, one scene out of 13 episodes does not equate to an A ranking.
So in that case, my last A rank in the Godzilla franchise is absolutely the last movie so far in the legendary MonsterVerse, Godzilla versus Kong.
Versus Kong.
Listen to me. Yeah. You know it. I know it. Listen, this is the greatest versus movie in the MonsterVerse. Okay? Because as of right now, it's the only versus movie in the MonsterVerse. So I could get away with saying that, right? Right?
Yeah.
This is the greatest versus movie in the MonsterVerse. Look, King of the Monsters is one thing, but because they give you what you get, Toho Classics. But Godzilla versus Kong was the rematch I was waiting for from the first fucking thing on this A list. King Kong versus Godzilla. And yeah, there's two different versions if you want to believe that. There's two different versions, okay? They both fall into the water. King Kong gets up and swims away. But there's an earthquake, so maybe King Kong did bury Godzilla under the earth, where he can bust out in Mothra versus Godzilla. That's fine, even though it's a typhoon that brings him in. It's fine. But Godzilla first, people. Godzilla first. And good Lord have mercy, was I sitting at the edge of my seat in this movie and saying, please don't let the monkey win. Don't let the monkey win. Because the monkey is because the monkey's the sympathetic character. When we see Monkey for the first time in this movie, it's sympathetic. He's like, this ain't my house.
He's scratching his ass.
Well, he's scratching his ass. But he also throws the fucking tree into the fucking dome. And he's like, get me out of here. What is this? And he doesn't comprehend. And I love it. And then we see Jaya, whatever her name is. And she calms him. And all this is working. It's all working. It's like, what? Then we see Godzilla. And he's tearing up Florida. Godzilla's legit killing people for the first time in a MonsterVerse. Godzilla is killing people. And we're saying, what the fuck? And I'm like, please don't let him win. Don't let him win. And he doesn't. Godzilla gets the 2 out of 3. He kicks Kong's ass. And I love it. And yes, Mechagodzilla comes and does what Mechagodzilla always does. Kicks Godzilla's ass. It's in all of the Mechagodzilla movies. This is nothing new. I wasn't mad at it. This is what happens to Godzilla. For crying out loud. And Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. Mechagodzilla killed Godzilla. Killed him.
He did.
Killed him. Rodan saved him. Props to Rodan.
Rodan had to bring him back to life.
So, I love that. And then again, the little Easter egg nods in this movie to classic Showa movies. The Black Mountain, for instance, where Mechagodzilla shows up from. Beautiful. The little numbers switching between, I think it was 65 and 74, which was King Ghidorah and Mechagodzilla. Like, the little nuances that you get to see. Now, does everybody like Bernie? No. That's fair. I do. I dig him.
I like Bernie.
I like Bernie. Does everybody think?
To me, I think maybe I should switch him around or something like that, because to me, Godzilla vs. Kong is in the same boat as Godzilla Final Wars. It's balls to the walls, schlocky action.
Yes. Which is why they're both on my A list. Back to back.
Yeah.
If you look at this thing, back to back. It is. And honestly, I'm gonna rewatch Godzilla versus Kong over this break in between my Marvel viewings. But no, yeah, this is one of my favorite Godzilla movies. Honestly, it really is. It's stupid fun. And I get where people don't like it. I ain't mad at you. But for me, it totally makes sense to be where they're at right now. So I guess I'm on my B list now, right, Gams?
Yeah, B.
And since
where,
we're going...
you like it. You do, but it's just not as good as A or S,
And since we're going in chronological order and not favorite order, first one in the B list, obviously, Godzilla Raids Again. I love this movie. I love it. It doesn't make A list because there's other movies that are just better than it. But this movie, being the sequel to Godzilla...
The movie, you can tell it was only made in 6 months.
Absolutely, but what they do in the 6 months... What they do in the 6 months in this movie, if you watch this movie recently, look at -1. They ate so many themes from that movie.
Do.
So many. And I'm not even talking about flying. I'm not even talking about pilots. I'm talking about sitting down, having dinner together, having drinks together. That's all in -1. That's in Godzilla Raids Again. What I love about Godzilla -1 is that it is a kind of a perfect blend between the original 54 and Godzilla Raids Again, just without an extra monster. Just Godzilla. But when it comes to the human element, and that's what I think I loved about Godzilla Raids Again, I did like the humans. I did care for them. There was this sacrifice that, yes, Serizawa sacrificed himself in 54, no doubt. But he came late in the game. Like, I didn't really care about him. Like, it's Emiko and Ogata, right? But in this one, this is, oh God, and I'm blanking right now. But the dude that sacrifices his life is in the beginning. He's right there in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
He is a linchpin in this movie. He is getting married in this movie, and he sacrifices his life to bury Godzilla in the ice. This movie right here, I love it. And then there's one particular sequence, and I'm not gonna go into detail, but there's one particular sequence in this movie that inspired me, and I'm still writing this thing, and it's never gonna go nowhere. But for me personally, just to get it out of my head and onto the computer or onto the page, whatever the case may be, to get it out of my head, there's one particular instance in this movie that inspired me, and it had to do with the whole jailbreak sequence.
Oh, yeah, I saw this coming. Okay.
Man, you tell me that's not like a perfect move? Like, we can get out of here, and then we even have more cover because there's bigger fish to fry here. Leave me alone. Oh, God, I love that. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Make no mistake about it. The next one on my hit list, on the B ranking, Invasion of Astro Monster.
Now, really, it's that low, huh?
Well, unfortunately, it's a B ranking only because all of the movies in my S and A's, I have more fun with. Which is crazy when I think about it now. Holy shit. You know what? When I think about it now, I'm lying. Just like I did with Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Oh, shit, look! Look what just made A rank.
Invasion of Astro Monster.
You know what it is? It had one of the best themes I've ever heard. And one I whistle all the time. It had a great concept. I love the idea of the fucking sound effect breaking up the thing. Godzilla and Rodan go to Mars.
It's the first Godzilla movie where he goes to space, you know?
Yeah.
Godzilla in space. It's so cool.
Insane. You got the dance. You get the dance. You get the beginning of the Exilians. Like, at first, the first aliens, period. Legit aliens.
They are?
So, yeah, no, that's A rank. That's A list. It's so good. So, you know, I don't... Oh, yeah, that's a good one. But then I guess my next on my B list would be, oh, you know what? All right, here's why I run into trouble. What do you think it is? Oh, yeah. What do you think it is?
Ebirah Horror of the Deep?
No. Godzilla's Revenge.
All monsters attack, huh?
So here's the deal. I hated that movie. That would have been the worst movie ever. Ever. Until I watched it when I got the Criterion Collection. And said,
yeah, watching the Japanese version hits different.
Oh my God, does it hit different? It is a fantastic movie. And it's also like fucking, 80 minutes, if that. It's a short movie. It's the shortest Godzilla movie.
It is.
It is. And granted, yeah, it's Godzilla's greatest hits, right? But you get Gabara in there, and Godzilla fighting Gabara, and Gabara's got this cool Kong electric style fucking power. But what it was, and what I did not get when I saw it as a kid, when it always came on TV, was put yourself in that kid's position. I didn't think about that like that. All I wanted to see was Godzilla fight. And I was like, I saw that already. All right, this guy is cool, but like Godzilla's going to beat him, right? I never understood the human element about that. And when I watched it again as an adult, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, this kid's on his own, and he has to be an adult. Because that's the way the culture is. So he has...
like his parents are just too busy being in this new industrial boom that Japan is a part of, and all the kids just have to take care of themselves.
Right. So it totally hit different for me. And when I look at it in that perspective, while I do like the other movies that come before it, this one is just like, it's good. And I guess here I'm playing favorites, right? Because that's what it feels like. Here I'm playing favorites. But I'm not, because honestly, the next one in my list, Godzilla vs. Megalon.
All right. Megalon and B.
Man, listen, that's the first Godzilla movie I ever owned, period. First VHS tape, I love this movie. The Circle of Fire, I love it. Jet Jaguar, I love it. Godzilla fighting two monsters at the same time, legit, that I can remember. That was like one of the first things. That's what I remember. I just love this movie. I'm telling you, I put this movie on English. I put this movie on Japanese. I put this movie on and I say, man, I love this movie. Is it better than anything that's come before it? No. You could feel it. But fuck, Megalon's a cool fucking creation. The Cetopians don't get enough props. I wish they would be utilized more, and I want to utilize them. But fuck, this movie right here, I totally dig it. Which,
just thinking about it, they could totally pull off Cetopians like in the Hollow Earth in the Monsterverse.
Oh, they could. But you know what? I messed up. That wasn't my next movie. I'm lying.
Oh.
Yeah, I was lying. I messed up. On my next B tier after Godzilla's Revenge was definitely Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster.
Oh, Godzilla vs. Hedorah.
I messed up. I apologize. That's on me. But Godzilla vs. Hedorah? Yeah, no, listen. Smog Monster is one of my favorite fucking designs of all time. I've got numerous of them. I mean, game, I've got Ice Cream.
Yeah, you got the monster arts.
I got the monster arts. Like, oh my God. I got 2 Super 7s, right? I got Hedorah and I got Glow in the Dark. Like, you don't understand. That design is one of my favorites. And it might be because Godzilla versus the Smog Monster would come on a lot on TV. Between that and King Kong versus Godzilla, those were the ones that was constantly on TV. I didn't know about Mechagodzilla at all. That shit was rarely seen. I didn't see that. I seen Megalon, I seen Smog Monster, I seen King Kong versus Godzilla, and I seen Godzilla's Revenge. Those were a constant loop. Constant. Then they started throwing on everything else.
And Hedorah was like one of the few kaiju out there that really messed Godzilla up.
Ain't lying. Again, we got to go back to like the early 80s is what I'm talking about. Before, TNT got Monster Vision, where they would put on like 7 or 8 Showa movies. I didn't get that. I had like 3 or 4 Showa movies. And those were the ones that were in constant rotation. and Smog Monster was one of them. So yeah, that's B-list tier. If those other movies weren't there, it'd be like, no, again, top tier, because it's one of those movies I fell in love with. But when you look at it, at the end of the day, it's got a great soundtrack with Save the Earth, which I love. Like you said, Godzilla gets his ass whipped. And to me, Hedorah is just one of the coolest fucking designs and just thought out kaijus. It's pollution.
Mm-hmm.
It's pollution. I love it. I love it. And then Megalon. So then what? Wow, man, where am I at now? We got Ibra, son of Destroy All Monsters, Gigan, Mega Godzilla, Space Godzilla, Mega Garrett. Oh my god. You know what? Could I? Why do you make me do that? Oh man, this is hard. Why am I doing this live? Oh fuck. Man. Honestly, oh man. Nah. Shit. See, here's the problem. Chronological order, right? So, all right. Godzilla vs. Ibra gets a B rank. It's not my favorite, but honestly, it's a good movie. It is. It does deserve to be. When I'm looking at it,
I really love the island hopping adventure of
yes.
Ibra. I do. I love the fact that that Akira Takarada's character, instead of being this action hero, he's a thief.
A thief.
Like that's really cool.
Yeah, agreed. So it does have to go on the B list. And again, I'm doing this in chronological order. I'm not doing it in terms of favorites. But yeah, I do like that movie a lot, even though it was supposed to be made for Kong. But
it was. You can tell. You can definitely tell.
You can definitely tell. But it's still it's a fun movie. It's a good movie. I did enjoy it. And again, you know what B list is for me, with the exception of Godzilla Raids Again. This B tier is the movies I grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this B tier is. And that's why I gotta put it here in the B tier. Because these are the movies I grew up on. And I look at it and I say, nothing else here, outside of what I already have ranked higher than these movies, have been on constant loop. Picking up a faint signal. I'm sorry, y'all. And, alright, cool. That's my kid putting a mass text to everybody. Didn't need to do that. So that's the thing. But this B tier, with the exception of Godzilla Raids Again, Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, all right, I'm doing it in the English version, Godzilla's Revenge, Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, and Godzilla versus Megalon was a constant loop on television in my time in the 80s. Sorry about that. I'm going to mute that right now. Here we go. So, and that's why at the end of the day, that's my B tier. And you know what?
So now we're moving on to C tier, huh?
No. So here's my problem, okay? I'm not going to add Monarch to any of my lists.
Because it's not done. That's fair.
Because it's not done. But what I would do, I'm going to add Godzilla King of the Monsters to my B tier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there are still things you do like about it. I mean, I remember back when it first came out, the initial impressions. You were in love with it. You've just soured on it over the years.
It's got
just a little bit.
To this day, I can watch it. It has the greatest second trailer for any movie ever made. Because it gives you the movie, and it gives me, when we watch this movie as a Godzilla fan, that second trailer was everything a Godzilla fan wanted from an American-made Godzilla movie. Everything. And it's perfect. The movie, on the other hand, is not perfect. And again, is that studio interference? It could well be. I don't like Rodan's Rule. Y'all already know. I rant about this like anytime I get an opportunity to fucking give Rodan his Rodan role. I don't understand why. But I digress. King Ghidorah, fantastic. Godzilla, fantastic. Mothra, fantastic. Rodan, without the raw, still, it's great. It's great. But not only that, then we see all of these other titans. It's not just the Toho Kaiju. We get to see Legendary's creations. And good God Almighty, we see him. Not only that, Anguirus is in the movie too. Just saying. Just saying. Anguirus is in there.
Blink and you'll miss it more. Blink and you'll miss it moment, but yeah.
That's right. That's right. I hate the Transformer humor. I really do. I don't like the Michael Bay humor. It drives me up a fucking wall. You take that out, and it is a solid monster movie. But unfortunately, it's in a B rank because it does have that stupid humor. In a Godzilla movie, which has been established, in a movie where Godzilla has already been established, where it takes itself seriously. This is why I could get away with saying Godzilla 98 is in an A tier. There's no establishment there. This is the establishment. And yeah, it's not Godzilla. It's not. But it's a fun monster romp. Period. Whereas King of the Monsters, it is Godzilla. And it should have been up there S tier. But they really went for potty humor. And they basically tried to fucking denigrate Godzilla. And that's not what it should be. That's not what camp is. Like, they wanted to do camp and they didn't do camp. They took a crap on it. And that to me is not good. And my last, I gotta put it here. I shouldn't put it here. But no, that's it. That's my B ranks. That's my B ranks.
Okay.
That's my B ranks.
All right, so now we're moving on to C, the middle of the road, the mid movies.
Son of Godzilla, obviously, first C movie. It's a good movie. I hate Godzilla's look. Oh God, I hate that. That's the worst. Worst Godzilla's look.
My partner Lucas caught Son of Godzilla on the Pluto TV channel, and he was straight up like, what is that? Why does Godzilla look like that? He looks terrible. And I'm like, yeah, that's the Son of Godzilla suit.
Yeah. Oh God, it's terrible. Don't like it. Can't stand it. Can't lie. But there ain't much I could say about that. My next one on the C list, Destroy All Monsters. Man. Damn. Listen. When I was a kid, all I ever wanted to see was this movie. Because I caught a glimpse at it one time. I'll never forget it. I caught a glimpse. And it might have been towards the end of the movie. But all I remember was seeing all of the monsters there at the same time. And I was a kid and I remembered that. I didn't read that in no book. I remembered seeing it. But I never understood what it was. I didn't know what the context was. I didn't know what the movie was called. Because you couldn't press guide on your remote control and see what the movie... You had to turn the fucking channels with your hands. But I remember seeing it and I said, to me it was the greatest thing ever. Because again, it's all the monsters. And when I saw it for the first time in its entirety, I was like, yeah, this is great. But I was also stuck in a Heisei era because that's when they re-released it with the cool art from, if I'm not mistaken, it's not Arthur Adams. It might be Arthur Adams. But it was the VHS.
that one VHS cover with where it almost looks like it's GMK Godzilla with Heisei King Ghidorah looming over him, and then you see Anguirus
and then all the other monsters. Yep, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I loved that VHS cover.
That cover is fantastic, but it just doesn't encapsulate the movie. When I watched this movie again as like an adult and was like, I'm all in.
Yeah, it's just a worse invasion of Astro Monster.
It is. It's really not good. The human drama is dull. It's boring. It's another alien invasion. This time they're taking over the minds of the humans. And where it could have fucking blown the fuck up. It just didn't. It was like, let's kill King Ghidorah. Okay. Man, I can't say I like. You know what? You know what I like more than this? The Mezco 2-pack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't hate it, but it's not my favorite. Every now and then I'll catch it on Pluto, and I'm like, that's fun. But at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, no, this doesn't even come close. It's not even close. Like, honestly, Final Wars is a better Destroy All Monsters.
It is. It is.
And that's fucked up. Because people hold this movie in high regard because of the show era. And to me, that's a misconception. Holding it in high regards because of a certain era. That's a misconception to me. My next obvious C-list is Gigan. I really didn't like this movie at first. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. You know why? I didn't really like this movie at first, but when I watched it, when I got the Criterion Collection, like, I didn't even pay attention when I was a kid because this movie was never on. So for me, my first experience with Gigan was with Godzilla vs. Megalon. And I had no idea where this dude came from. Then I found out that Gigan was in his own movie before Megalon that had King Ghidorah and Anguirus in it. And I'm like, well, that's the greatest movie ever made. Then I seen it. All I hear is, hey, Anguirus, come on. And I'm like, no, what are we doing?
Yeah, they had Godzilla talk.
Oh, no, it's bad. Not only that, but what I did like about this movie, I liked the artist. I liked the interpretations.
Yeah. He was a pretty cool main character. I also really liked the MVP of that whole movie, and that is the corncob hippie.
Exactly. Banana guy. Yeah. Oh, no, it was corn guy. Right. Yep. No, I loved it.
Well, he was both corn and banana.
Okay, yeah, see? That's all fun. This Godzilla movie, though, honestly, is probably the longest Godzilla fight in the history of Godzilla movies.
It's so dragged out.
And it gets to a point, it's like, but at the same time, oh man, I can't hate on it. I can't. In terms of, again, chronological order. And that's how I'm doing it, ladies and gentlemen. So you got to bear with me and bog down because the next one is Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. The original.
Oh, wow.
Look.
I mean, it's got such a jazzy soundtrack, though.
It does. They're doing Planet of the Apes. They're,
kind of, yeah.
No, it's there. They introduce a new monster with King Caesar, right? And it's Mechagodzilla. For love of God. Anguirus is in it.
Yep, Mechagodzilla kicks Anguirus' ass disguised as Godzilla, which is one of the coolest concepts for Mechagodzilla, is you introduce him and he gaslights everybody into thinking it's Godzilla causing all this damage until it's revealed, oh, nope, it's a robotic doppelganger.
It's a robotic doppelganger. Perfect, yep. He's even got the red blood vessels in his eyes, whereas the real Godzilla doesn't. You have one of the coolest scenes in fucking Godzilla history. 2 Godzillas. What does it mean? Seriously, I've been hoping, you know this, holding out to see 2 Godzillas on the screen again that aren't a Mechagodzilla, not a clone, nothing like that. This movie gave that to me, and it was the first one. But again, this movie wasn't in rotation like Terror of Mechagodzilla was. Now I'm lying. Terror of Mechagodzilla wasn't in rotation. My father rented that for me, and when I seen it, I was like, could we get that again? That's why it was in rotation, because we constantly rented that thing for $2. But watching Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, the original one, while it's fun and it's good, it's nowhere near anything above it. It's not. And it should have been. Because it has one of the greatest Godzilla moments in the entire history. 2 Godzillas looking at each other facing off. And it's one of my favorite things. But After that, wow, man, shit, yeah, nope. Here we go. After that, can't even lie. Speaking of two Godzillas, Godzilla versus Space Godzilla.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty mid.
It's not my favorite Heisei movie. It's got a solid soundtrack. Special effects works are wonky. I can't stand the space shit. I can't. Mogura versus Space Godzilla in space is it's like
Oh, that was the worst space backdrop Toho has ever done.
ever done. I mean, like, seriously, it's worse than any of the worst Ultraman or any type of series that goes into space. It's egregious. It is absolutely, what are you doing? But at the same time, I like Space Godzilla. It's one of the greatest Godzilla designs, one of the greatest Godzilla villains. There's some great matte shots in this movie. And Godzilla's cool. And even Chibi Godzilla. I like Chibi Godzilla. I do. And again, I go back to the soundtrack. I dig this soundtrack. I didn't like the idea of trying to control Godzilla. It goes back to Invasion of Astro Monster. Just not well done.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like...
Definitely.
But yeah, after that, what I say, Monarch's not going on there. After that, I got to give props to... Even if it was for that one scene. But Godzilla Singular Point.
Yep.
It's...
Yep. I can see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
A lot of it is for a lot of people just kind of middle of the road stuff. You know, it's got its moments, but it's a lot of scientific mumbo jumbo theoretical physics that just whoo,
yeah, it goes over your head, and it is nuts. But that one scene in episode 10, I mean, I go back to it constantly. I watch it when I feel down, when I don't feel right. If I'm sick, I just watch it to get a lift, a boost. It's seriously one of the greatest Godzilla moments of all time. But at the end of that, that's where my C list ends and my D list begins.
Now we're getting to the ones that, you know, I if it's on, I'll watch it, but like I wouldn't put it on, like willingly.
Exactly. And the first one there, again, because I'm doing it in chronological order, Godzilla X Megaguirus. Damn.
Yeah.
There's a lot to like in this movie.
I'll watch it if it's on, but I wouldn't put it on willingly.
Right. There's a lot to like in this movie. There really is. Soundtrack being the number one part of it. I love the idea of and I'm not even gonna, because I can't even do the names. But I love the idea of a microwave dude, you know, being called in. You've got a black hole gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot to like in this movie. You bring back the Mega Nulon for Megaguirus. That's a tie to Rodan. That's a big thing for me. I love it. We see a fucking vicious death. That's great. But at the same time, this just ain't it. It just ain't it. There's some cool shots in this movie. I will give it that. There's some really good shots in this movie. That they took the G2K idea and brought, where G2K took place at night, this one was like broad daylight. But then there's that fucking Godzilla slam that I don't care. I'm sorry. Listen, I can watch.
Oh, the body slam. That was too. It was too goofy of a moment for a movie that was mostly trying to take itself seriously.
Exactly. I can deal with Godzilla flying. I can deal with Godzilla doing this kangaroo kick that lasts 35 seconds. I just can't. That shit, exactly. And it looks weird, and it's not even done right. That's what pisses me off. And again, I'm doing this in chronological order. So this would have been last in this list. But it's in chronological order, so we got to go first. The next one in this list, something happened.
See, now we're about to fight.
There we go. Yeah, no, here we go. And I'm open to the fights. But the next one in this list,
We're not fighting.
GXMG.
Oh no, you fucking just didn't. Oh, you and me. This movie is Godzilla versus Megaguirus, but done right, but done properly with the fucking military woman who has a vendetta against Godzilla, and it's done so much better in this movie. I don't understand why you hate the Kiryu duology. It ties in to the other non-Godzilla Showa era movies like the original Mothra and fucking War of the Gargantuas and Frankenstein versus Baragon and Dogora. Oh, good. Why? Why?
I give you a simple answer. This Godzilla's a bitch. I hate this Godzilla. I hate this Godzilla. I do. This Godzilla is the weakest Godzilla out of all the Godzillas, in my personal opinion. Not only that, while I did like the lore building, because I'm a huge fan of lore building, this movie had awesome shot selections, but terrible editing. And that really throws me off with this movie. It really does. It is the editing. It is a Godzilla suit. Not even a man in a suit. It's just a Godzilla suit standing there as it's getting bombarded with missiles. And it doesn't move. It doesn't react. It just drives me fucking crazy. Because that's not Godzilla. Godzilla should react for every hit it takes. He should react. Whether it's penetrating its skin or not. Should react. This one didn't. It absolutely did not. And I sit there and I go, damn, this Mecha Godzilla is one of the best looking Mecha Godzillas, right? And it is the original Godzilla. And it has one of the best rampages in Godzilla history. And it has one of the best offensive weaponry in a Godzilla movie. But the fucking editing and the lack of movement, and it's so egregious that I sit there and I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? How this Godzilla has one epic moment in the duology, and it is the beginning of this movie when he roars and the lightning strikes his spines, and it is absolutely glorious. Where when this movie came out, before, Facebook was a thing and all that, and you had the only social media was like Godzilla Stomp and shit like that, that was my avatar. It was my avatar. That Godzilla getting the lightning struck on his spines and roaring up to the heavens. It's glorious. But this movie is not good. There's no compelling characters here. She doesn't do it. Godzilla X Megaguirus does it better. She does it better. There's better characters in that movie. Way better characters in that movie. Ugh. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. And I get it. Oh my God. What's the name of the plant? Oh my God. Oh, shit. Bonsai guy. Bonsai plant. Whatever. That's nice. And I do like I like the idea that they used the original Godzilla's bones to create Kiryu. But nah, man, everything else about this movie stinks, man. It stinks. It stinks. It's not the worst, but it stinks. It stinks. Because what's worse than this particular movie?
Is it sequel?
Yes. Oh God. No, I don't.
What is wrong with Tokyo SOS? It brings Mothra back. It has the best rendition of the Mothra song in any of the movies. It's
perfection.
It brings back Chujo from the original Mothra movie.
Thumbs up. All of that shit works. You know what doesn't work for me? Again, the editing. The editing. And the difference between this movie and the last movie is where Godzilla is just stiff and is letting everything hit him and he's not reacting and all that shit. That pisses me off. What pisses me off even more in this movie is the editing is so bad. One scene, we get, let's say, Mothra swooping from this way. Then, literally, the next cut, it is a break. It is supposed to be the same exact sequence. And now Mothra is coming from behind. Wait, what? And then Kiru's, the story, like the human element in this one, outside of Chujo, which also is stupid, if you ask me. I hated it. Little kid runs and he goes to the elementary school and he's putting the Mothra sign together with the desks. And then Chujo runs in to save him. Get out of here with that bullshit. What is this? Gamera? This ain't Gamera. This is GODZILLA. Stop.
They're calling Thra.
No. It was dumb. I hated it. Oh, and then all of a sudden, Godzilla can speak Japanese. Right. Oh, don't forget that part. Godzilla can now speak Japanese. Come on, man. Come on. Not only Godzilla, a dead Godzilla. Stop. Just stop. Just stop. You know what was cool about these movies?
You can write that off because it's DNA computers that have Japanese built in.
Yeah, no. You know why? Because Singular Point didn't do no bullshit like that. Singular Point had the same fucking thing.
It had a dog AI.
Okay, and that's why it's in my C tier. I'm just saying.
Okay.
This movie is trash, man. Oh my god, I hate this movie. I hate it. I hate it. But you know what? And again, this all comes down to chronological order. But the last thing in my D list, and again, chronological order, is the first Godzilla anime movie. I really don't hate this movie.
Boy, well now, yeah, we haven't even gotten into the anime trilogy. You haven't touched it until we gotten this low. Let's hear it.
Wait a minute. Now that I think about it, hold up. My spidey sense of tingling. Oh my god, I haven't done this in a couple of tiers. Oh no, this one goes up to the C tier. Yep. It goes in between Space Godzilla and it goes and Singular Point. Only again because of where it comes out chronologically. That movie had potential. That movie I seen 3 times. That movie was dope because it brought Godzilla to the fucking future. But before it did, it gave us sort of a Toho monsterverse. You know, there was the Godzilla came, there was the other monsters, they got Godzilla 1, and people were like, we can't win, we gotta leave. So they left. They left planet Earth. I dug that. And I dug the whole revenge story. I really liked it. I liked the idea of these 2 alien factions trying to take control of the human race. I dug that. I dug everything they set up. And it was good. It's just not better than anything that's come before it. Okay? But I do like this movie, this first one. But yeah, after that, there's only 3 left for the F tier.
In the F tier, oh.
And I'm not gonna do like you.
Told you.
I'm not gonna make up a tier all its own. I'm not gonna make up a tier all its own. I'm gonna leave it F, because F for fuck this. And when did that trilogy come out? When did that Godzilla trilogy come out? The anime trilogy?
So Godzilla Planet of the Monsters came out in 2017. Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle came out in the middle of 2018. And I think Godzilla the Planet Eater came out either at the end of 2018 or the beginning of 2019.
Which means the first movie in my F tier is Shit Godzilla.
Shin Godzilla. Fucking A.
Look, I've been on record as saying I hate this movie. But I've also been on record saying, you know what? I've come around to this movie. Have I come around enough to give this movie a higher mark? Absolutely not. And I'll tell you exactly why. Because that Godzilla is not my Godzilla. This is a piece of shit Godzilla. Now, again, I can joke and say what I want, and I'm not lying when I make this assessment. This is a Geno. This is a Geno. But the problem with this Geno is it's trying to legitly be Godzilla in every fucking form and fashion. It really is. Whereas 98, that's a Geno. That's Godzilla in name only. Hands down. That's not Godzilla. But what it is a fun monster romp. Take your brain out, put popcorn in, and go with the fucking flow. This movie tries to weigh you down with so much shit. And then they add this thing. Whatever the fuck that is. That's not Godzilla. It can look like Godzilla, but you know what else looks like Godzilla? Godzilla -1. You know what else acts like Godzilla? Godzilla -1. This don't look nor act like Godzilla. I mean, let me phrase that. It looks like Godzilla. It don't act like Godzilla. Give me another movie where Godzilla, all he did was just walk. Granted, there's that one sequence, which is cool, where they drop those fucking, where America drops those heavy bombs on him, and he finally reacts to something. Nah, man. As much as I do appreciate this movie now when I look at it in another light, it is not nowhere near my favorite Godzilla movie. And that being said, if it wasn't for the fact I'm doing this in chronological order, nah, it will still stay here because I can't stand those last two animated movies. Oh, I can't stand them. I only saw those movies once. At least I watched Shin Godzilla at least 5 times, maybe 6. I've watched it a couple times. I'm gonna watch it again real soon. By the end of this year, it's going in my rotation. I'm gonna watch it again. As far as a Godzilla movie goes, this ain't it. And like I said, I'll joke all day long about this being a Godzilla in name only, because honestly, it is. It really is. But when it's a Godzilla in name only and tries to be Godzilla, it ain't it. And I hate it for that. I fucking hate it for that. And there's a bunch of other things I hate it for. You know, Singular Point does it better. 1. This is way too complicated. And then you'll have people say, you're just not smart enough. I don't need to be smart enough. It's a fucking Godzilla movie, right? So stop. So fucking stop. This ain't Oppenheimer. So please, just chill. It ain't 2001: A Space Odyssey. So just bring it down some. This is a dumb Godzilla movie. And it's number 1 on my F list only because chronological order.
Gotcha. And the other two is the other 2 anime trilogy movies.
Yes, absolutely in order. And it has to be in order. I've only seen each one of these movies once. I'm pretty sure I would probably pick the second movie over the third movie. The third movie really lost me.
So you watched these movies as they came out. Have
Yes.
you ever binged them as all 3 movies back to back before?
When they came out, yeah, I did. I watched all 3 like that. But again,
Okay.
It's been a minute. And all I remember was hating each and every one of them. And then also, to be fair, as soon as I watched them, I went and I jumped on Dragon Ball Super, which I was having a good time with. So that can also, get him. But honestly, I don't like these.
So now that you have the list and we had the discussion, before we end the podcast, let's go back over the list, starting from S tier, working your way down, and just list them off, name them off.
All right, my S tier again in chronological order. 1954's Godzilla the OG, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, Terror of Mechagodzilla, Godzilla 84-85, Godzilla Returns, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, 1993, Godzilla vs. Destroyer, Godzilla 2014, Godzilla -1, S tier.
Mm-hmm.
In the way they come out. My A tier, King Kong vs. Godzilla, Mothra vs. Godzilla, Invasion of Astro Monster, Godzilla versus Biollante. Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. Godzilla versus Mothra. Gino 98. Godzilla 2K Millennium. GMK. Godzilla Final Wars. Godzilla vs. Kong. A list. B list. Godzilla Raids Again. Ibra, the sea monster. Oh, Godzilla versus the sea monster. Godzilla's Revenge. Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. Godzilla versus Megalon. Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019. That's my B. C rank. Son of Godzilla. Destroy All Monsters. Godzilla vs. Gigan. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 1, 1974. Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. Godzilla Planet of Monsters. Godzilla Singular Point. I would put Singular Point before Planet of Monsters, only because I like that more for that one scene. But again, chronological order. That's my C list. My D list. Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. Wow, this is all millennial here. GX Mechagodzilla. Tokyo SOS. Those are my D list. I can't. And then my fuck you rank. Shin Godzilla. The second anime trilogy thing. And then the third anime trilogy thing. Whatever the fuck they would call. I can't.
City on the Edge of Battle and the Planet Eater.
Yeah. Fuck them along with fake Godzilla.
And you know what? I can't knock you. I can't knock you because it's your opinion, dude.
Right, and that's the thing.
It's your feelings. It's how you feel, you know?
Even though your last one, you actually created a fucking category for it, so I'm going to knock you because that's just wrong. No, I can't.
Listen. Okay, if it was the like literally, here's how I do it. From S, that is the creme de la creme. A, I fucking love it. B, I love it, just not as much. C, this middle of the road, that's fine. D, I'll watch it if it's on, but and then F, aka Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, that's the only movie in this series that I genuinely do not like.
Which is crazy because we made you watch that this year and that was fun. That was a good time. That was such a good time. Yeah, no, and it's crazy because, like, again, you know, it can't rank Monarch Legacy of Monsters because it's not done yet. But, like, you know, if I had to put it somewhere right now where it's at in episode 6, it'd probably go A. You know, like,
yeah, that's where I put it. That is definitely where I put it because it literally cannot be S tier until it's finished.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so far, so good. I haven't hated an episode, and I thoroughly enjoyed the last episode. I thought that was solid shit. And it's building this mystery that I really like. I want to uncover this mystery of Monarch. The things that the movie. Mm-hmm. The movies are, it's not what we think it is. And I like that. What this show is doing is showing us what the end of Kong Skull Island was. Like, kidnapping people, putting them in this room and saying, yo, what do you know? We want to offer you a deal. And what happens if you don't take the deal? I like that. And I think that's what this show is doing without doing it. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. But yeah, I would put that on my A list as of now, but I want to see the full thing because it's a fantastic show. But yeah, what's your list, by the way? I mean, like, run through your list. I mean, I know what your last thing is.
Yeah,
crazy ass.
Yeah, let me run through my list. My list is a little bit not in chronological order. And it's not even like 100% finalized. I still rearrange this shit all the time. But for right now, my list is Godzilla -1. This is S tier, by the way. Godzilla -1, Godzilla 54, Shin Godzilla, because Shin Godzilla is a legitimate Godzilla. He's not a Geno. He's one of the best. It's one of the best fucking movies. It's got a fucking message about the Fukushima disaster. It's got something to say, and it's fucking amazing.
That's what
God
you call
damn it.
2014. I'm just saying.
Then you got Godzilla Singular Point, because I fucking loved Singular Point with the fucking theoretical physics mumbo jumbo. I loved May as a character. I loved fucking, I forget his name off the top of my head, but he was played by the actor who does who's now Broly in as of Dragon Ball Super Superhero. He's now the voice actor for Broly, Johnny Young Bosch. Shout out to you, my guy.
You mean the Black Ranger?
Point. That episode 10.
That's what you're talking about? Huh? Johnny Young Bosch, the Black Power Ranger after Zack?
No. Johnny Young Bosch was the Quantum Ranger in Power Rangers Time Force.
No, he was originally the Black Power Ranger after Zack, bro. Look that up. Look that up.
I don't think that was Johnny Young Bosch.
But Johnny Young Bosch was the motherfucking second Black Power Ranger. I swear on everything I love. And I don't even like Power Rangers, but I know that. I'm pretty sure it was Adam. It was the Red Ranger, the Yellow Ranger, and the Black Ranger got changed up.
Yeah, I know they all got replaced. I do. And I know that like Johnny Young Bosch, the new Black Power Ranger was Asian. But
in the movie, no, go ahead.
I'm just saying. Anyways, after Singular Point, it goes Invasion of Astro Monster, GMK, Godzilla vs. Hedorah, Terror of Mechagodzilla, Godzilla 1984, Biolante, Godzilla the Planet Eater, because that movie is misunderstood. Johnny Young your thing's a little blurry, but
Johnny Young Bosch is an American actor. His first major role was the portrayal of Adam Park, the second on-screen Black Power Ranger. Trust me, bro. I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this a long time.
I stand corrected. I thought his introduction to Power Rangers was the Quantum Ranger. My bad.
Which one? Real quick, which one was that again? In the which episode? Which series?
Power Rangers Time Forced.
Okay, I think that was the fourth or fifth one. Okay, I never looked at that, but gotcha. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Another one in my S rank is Godzilla the Planet Eater, because that movie is misunderstood. It's misunderstood. I fucking love that movie. The philosophical religious aspect just really hit a chord with me. Like, Metphis is one of the most sneak up on you villains in Godzilla movie history. I fucking loved that dark turn he took.
That is fair and facts as all. I did like that. I can't lie.
Yeah. And then finally in the S tier is Godzilla King of the Monsters. I can't lie. There's a reason why I watched Godzilla King of the Monsters more times in theaters than any other of the other MonsterVerse movies. It gave me everything that I wanted as a Godzilla fan. Bad jokes aside. I can look past the bad jokes. You can't. That's just our tastes, you know?
You grew up in that era. I did not.
I mean, I do. I can't lie. I do like that first and that third Michael Bay Transformers movie. So, you know.
So do I, but shut up.
Anyways, in the A tier, we got Mothra versus Godzilla, King Kong versus Godzilla, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, Son of Godzilla, very underrated Godzilla movie. I really loved the human element with the scientists trying to create that weather-changing machine, and how one of the scientists was just so, like, he had the scurvy, he had the fever, he wanted to get off that island as soon as possible, and he was borderline violent with everybody around him. I loved it.
That's true.
And the woman who had a connection with Manila and, like, threw him fruit and stuff, I thought that was so cute. And especially the ending where Godzilla's holding Manila as they're going to sleep. as the snow's falling on the island. That's one of my most iconic Godzilla moments in my mind. That's why Son of Godzilla is A tier for me.
Okay.
Then we got Destroy All Monsters, because I can't lie, I do really like that final battle. The final battle kind of makes the slog that is the rest, the first 2/3 of the movie worth it for me.
It is a
and
great
then we
final
got
battle.
the original. Yeah, it's a really good final battle. I like it, especially with the fire dragon and Godzilla kicking in the dome where the Kylax are because he knows they're there. It's so good to me.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of the movie's kind of just discount Invasion of Astro Monster, but it's fine. Then we got after the original Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, we have the Kiryu movies, both of them, because I fucking love the Kiryu movies. You're bugging.
Go ahead. No, it's yours.
You're
It's yours.
bugging.
Yes.
Anyways, topping off the A tier is Godzilla 2014, Godzilla Planet of the Monsters, and the Monarch Show. Because I can't put Monarch in S because it's not done yet. But what has come out, A tier shit.
Agreed. That we definitely agree upon.
Yeah. B tier. We got Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, Godzilla versus Megalon, because the reason why Megalon is not any higher is because the kid. I don't like the kid.
Oh, what? So I get that. You know what? I don't know what it was, but I totally really related to that kid. Help me! Hurry up! Help me! I love that thing. I don't know why. I love it. I love it.
And I do give Megalon props for having the first LGBT representation with the two lead characters. Yeah, you can interpret it as they're just roommates, but they're taking care of a child together.
Listen, okay, yeah, okay. I will say this in that regard. Japan has always been ahead of the curve when it comes to shit like that. But I never saw it like that, nor do I see that like that now. I see that as one of those kids' nephews. One of those dudes' nephews. But I also would not even I won't even disclaim that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even say, you know what? Because Japan has always been very progressive when it comes to things like that.
Here's a little something for you to keep a watch out for in Godzilla 1954 if you ever get a chance to watch it again. During the boat scene, when Godzilla first comes up in Tokyo Bay and takes out that pleasure cruise with those two minor characters that we see way before on the train when they were talking about, we just got done evacuating from Hiroshima. I don't want to fucking evacuate now. And then we go back to them on this pleasure cruise, dancing together and having a good time. And then Godzilla comes up and fucking yomps the ship and goes back into the water. If you look at that scene, you will see a lesbian couple dancing together.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen it. I also saw, playing devil's advocate, two people who their dates went to get them drinks. But no, okay. You're absolutely right. And it's there. It is there and it's on screen. And again, you just look at some of anime, some of the darker, modes of anime. It's there. They've always been progressive. I won't knock that at all. I totally see where it comes from.
Definitely. Another one in the B tier is Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. The reason why that's not higher is because I feel like the movie drags on a little bit long.
What?
Especially, I just
perfectly paced.
I'm sorry.
It's perfectly paced.
And I don't really like Mechagodzilla 2's design
that much. Blasphemy! The greatest Godzilla.
He's too smooth. He's too smooth.
Hey, that's what he's supposed to be. He's future tech. He's supposed to be smooth. But I understand why you don't like that because he is future tech. And I know where your last one is.
Oh boy. Anyways, on to the next one. Another one in B tier, Godzilla versus Destroyer. Listen. Godzilla versus Destroyer. The human plot is so meandering. I do not like the scientist guy who tries to follow in Serizawa's footsteps. You could tell I don't like him because I don't know his name. Who the fuck is he? I liked the fact that Emiko was there. And I like the callbacks to 54. Destroyer was the most stiff son of a bitch you ever did see. You look at that suit, he can barely move outside of flying. You know?
Okay, but we're really now we're talking about the limitations of the time, okay? Whereas the only way you could get around the limitations of the time is by telling this in-depth story. And the fact of the matter is this: there's gonna be a shit ton of Godzilla fans that's gonna gun for your head now, and I don't want that to happen, Gam Gams.
Yeah, I know.
Put that in your A tier.
I don't care. You can come after me all you want. Destroyer is the Revenge of the Sith of Godzilla movies. It's almost 2 hours of boring nonsense where the last 5 minutes lull you into a sense of security, false sense of security that makes you that tricks you into thinking it was good.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm ending this shit here. I'm cutting him off. He's not finishing. I don't care. What are you talking? How dare you? How dare you? And they were 10 years apart, by the way. Ugh, that's messed up.
Another one in B tier because, again, I'm a very particular Godzilla fan. I do like a lot of the Godzilla movies that have schlock in them, but if it's just schlock for schlock's sake, it's not my cup of tea. Godzilla Final Wars. I don't vibe with it. Like, literally, here's one of my main gripes about Final Wars. You can have the Godzilla versus Zilla fight be like 15 seconds. Why you gotta make every other fight the same amount of time except for Monster X?
No, that's not necessarily true. Gigan had some time.
Gigan had some time because he got rebuilt later.
No, in the beginning he had some time. Rodan, Anguirus, and King Caesar had some time. They played soccer, bro. They played soccer. They had some time.
Like a lot of the movie was spent on the human story. I feel like the movie would have been better had they have awoken Godzilla a little earlier and spaced out the human drama and the Matrix shit with the Godzilla stuff a little bit more.
Okay. That's fair.
You know, that's just me.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
And then topping off the B tier is Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle. I know a lot of people don't like Mechagodzilla City. I know a lot of people don't like the whole trilogy. I like the trilogy. I do. I used to be one of y'all who hated the trilogy until one of my friends, Corey, shout out to you, girl. I love you. Fucking opened my eyes to the thematic elements of the trilogy and what the trilogy was trying to say message-wise, and I just fell in love with it. Sure, but admittedly, yes, City on the Edge of Battle is the weakest of them, but I still like it. I still do.
You getting to your C part right now?
I am getting into C now.
All right, yeah. See you in a minute. I'm going to take a piss. You can talk. Go ahead and talk. I'm not even going to pause this shit. We're not even going to take a timeout. That shit's so egregious. I'm going to go and take a piss while you just rant and rave. Whatever you want to fucking rant and rave. But you're out of your mind. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, I'm going to take a piss. I never announced it on a podcast. We've always had multiple people where the entities can overlap each other, where I could go pee, come back, no problem. No, but you know what? That was so egregious, and we're going to the C list. I'm going to see myself to the bathroom while I take a pee. Gam, you crazy ass. You know what, Gam? I swear to God, I love you, but you're crazy. Oh, I'm going to pee.
I love this. Okay. So let's get into the C tier, shall we? Topping off the C tier is All Monsters Attack. Now, while I do appreciate what Ishiro Honda was going for with All Monsters Attack, at the end of the day, it's a clip show. If I wanted to watch the monster scenes that are in All Monsters Attack, then I would just, watch Godzilla versus the Sea Monster and Son of Godzilla, because that's what they took from. And I don't know, man. The Godzilla scenes with Gabara in them, they're cool, I guess, but Gabara's kind of dumb. I don't really like Gabara as a monster personally. And the fact that Manila talks is cringe. It's so cringe. Like, yeah, it's the dreams of a child, and he would dream up talking to Manila and stuff like that. I mean, personally, I would just talk to Godzilla. I wouldn't talk to Manila, but that's whatever. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah, it is. No, yeah, it is. Because I'm back. What? Are you serious?
Hey,
serious?
I was only talking about one of the movies.
I
was
know.
Just meandering.
But I'm bugging because I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, I would normally have agreed with you. You're really saying that All Monsters Attack is one of the worst, well, not one of the worst, C-list. Manila talks and you didn't like Gabara, and I'm like, what?
Yes, because at the end of the day, it is still a clip show. And if I wanted to watch Godzilla versus the Sea Monster and Godzilla and Son of Godzilla, those monster scenes, I would watch those movies.
Well,
I do appreciate Ishiro and his struggle. I do appreciate what Ishiro Honda was trying to say with that movie. But they still should have given him a bigger budget to have actual unique monster scenes.
Here's what I'm gonna take away now that I hear your argument to it, and the way I put it, where I put it, because where'd I put it? I put that shit in my B tier.
Did you put it in B?
Yeah, I put it in B, and you put it in C, right? You're in C tier, right?
Yeah, I'm in C.
What I would argue about is this is the first Godzilla we've seen him become a legit hero. A legit hero. Mania is like, yo, that's my dad. He's gonna handle the business. Don't worry. We see the little kid calling for Godzilla. Not Mania. He's calling for Godzilla. He just makes friends with Godzilla's son. This is the first movie that, breaks through. This is Godzilla becoming a hero. Legit. Because after this is Destroy All Monsters.
I can definitely see where you're coming from there. That was another thing that, while you were gone, that I kind of ranted and raved about. I don't like the fact that Manila talks. Either sub or dub. I don't like that.
And it's funny because, like I said, this is one of those movies that was on constant rotation when I was younger. And I kind of did like Manila talking because it felt like we can relate. He's talking to us. He's talking to humans and shit. While I didn't like the movie as I got into my teenage years, I was like, this is stupid. I wish I never thought that. I wish I'd owned a fucking VHS because that's worth money right now. One of the things that's always stuck out in my brain was Godzilla's stronger when he's under the water. Yes. So why didn't he beat King Kong in King Kong versus Godzilla? These are things that used to drive me mad as a child. But I digress. Yeah. That was then, and I know what they offer now. So go ahead, my friend.
Okay, so continuing C tier, we got Godzilla versus Gigan. Godzilla versus Gigan is just the most middle of the road Godzilla movies. It's there, Mm-hmm. The corncob hippie is cool and all, and I like the artist. It's mid. It just is. Then you got Godzilla vs. Mothra in 1992, because despite the fact it's got Batra in it and it's got all this lore, I fall asleep to that movie every time. Every time it's on.
It's Japanese Indiana Jones. Come on.
I fall asleep to it all the time. I'm sorry. I do. It is boring. Right next to Godzilla vs. Mothra is Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. Yet another Godzilla movie that I just fall the fuck asleep to. I just can't with that movie. Why did they even like that fucking space battle and the fucking dragged out? You think Godzilla versus Gigan's final battle was dragged out and long?
No, I don't. I disagree there. I disagree, and it might be because the special effects were better, but the Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, and but again, I see where you're coming from, but I also, for me, I like to see two Godzillas battle it out, and yeah, that's not Godzilla; it's a Space Godzilla, but it's still a Godzilla, and it was close, so I like that. The Moguera shit is kind of iffy, but I get you.
And my final point about Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, and I'm a fucking hypocrite about this because I fucking love Godzilla. I fucking love Godzilla, that puppet show on the Godzilla YouTube channel. Little Godzilla. How the fuck is that the middle point between the baby Godzilla in Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2 and Junior in Godzilla versus Destroyer? Where did that manila-looking thing... How did he get to look like that with the big ass eyes and shit? It's just it's off-putting.
No, it was kind of explained the Godzilla's radiation. It makes sense. It makes sense. It was mutating it. It was just developing slower. So we got this 90s version of Manila or Minya. That's how you should say it. And it is what it is, And then we get Junior in 95. A Godzillasaurus. That's more Godzilla than Godzillasaurus. It's there, man. It's there. It's not like I'm making that up. It's there.
Surrounding out C tier is specifically the Japanese version of Godzilla 2000. This would have been an entirely different conversation if this tier list went with the American poster for Godzilla 2000. If it was the American version, that would go right into S tier. That's my most nostalgic Godzilla movie. That's the movie that got me into this fucking franchise. But the Japanese version, the editing choices are just, the sound design. There's hardly any sound design. Like, I swear to God, there's a scene where Godzilla's destroying something and there's no sound, like whatsoever. What the fuck are you doing? The movie was very clearly rushed to me, and was massively cleaned up with the American cut.
Yeah, I mean, look, I gotta be honest. I've seen that movie without subtitles, so I had the Japanese version in hand and I watched it a million times. Then I seen the American version and I was like, I prefer the Japanese version. And I looked at it as artistic. What was the word? Oh my God. Oh, what do you call it? Artistic. It's what's the word? Come on, help me, Gams. It's
I have no idea what you're talking about.
When they want to do something their way, it's their prerogative.
Their vision?
Artistic vision, something to that effect. If we had a Theosaurus, we rock and roll. But it was their artistic vision, basically. I'm not going to put sound here, especially at the end, because I know what you're talking about. You're talking about when Godzilla at the end, when the credits are rolling. Yeah, no, you know what? That makes sense. Because it was sad, it was scary. It was Godzilla saying, yeah, fuck this, I don't give a fuck. And letting loose upon. But on the flip side, I understand. Because it's such a nostalgic role for you. Because that was your first Godzilla experience. How could I be mad? You were what, 5, 6, 7?
Yeah, I was 6.
Yeah, I was 22. So I get it. Here we are having this conversation. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm old. Yeah. I feel like a pedophile right now.
Finally, capping off C tier is Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't care for that movie. I've learned to grow soft on it. Like I've grown slightly soft on Godzilla Final Wars. But at the end of the day, that this is where 2014 led up to. This is what 2014 led up to. This.
You sound like JR. Now, I don't know what you and Rob and everybody else that I don't know discuss in your Discord chat, but you sound like JR, because that's the only one I could contribute this to. You weren't like that when you saw the movie for the first time. And if my phone was my old phone, I could pull up the receipts.
Yeah, I know you could pull up the receipts.
Yeah, I could pull up the receipts. Because that's not what you were saying. No, and I get that. That's true. That's true. Because I like, like I said, I like Shin Godzilla for what it's worth now. Still a fucking stupid movie, but
yeah. Now we go into D tier. The movies where if they're on, I'll watch them, but rather not. We got Godzilla Raids Again.
Wow, that's terrible.
That movie is clearly rushed.
So what?
The monster scenes, I don't know what Tomoyuki Tanaka was smoking, but to have the scenes, the monster fights sped up rather than slowed down, terrible choice.
No, but here's the thing that works with that. And this is something that's always gotten me. When you watch those scenes like that, there's no music. When you watch the scenes where the monster fighting is slowed down, there's music. It adds to an atmosphere that I've always appreciated. I sit there, I look at that, I was like, damn. And not only that, but it's the first time we get to see actual monster battles. And honestly, this is only going from what we know now. If we were alive back then seeing that for the first time, we don't know if that's how fast they would be going. Granted, you could say, well, Godzilla 54 was moving real slow. He was moving real slow because he had nothing to stand in his way except for buildings. So he could just mow through them. Like, for instance, -1. You can see when he's slow and then he gets fast. You see it's in the movie.
I get where you're coming from. And, you mentioned that dinner scene in Godzilla Raids Again. That is the most nothing scene to me. Where is the plot in that dinner scene? It's not there. It's just a bunch of people having a nice dinner.
No,
where's the plot? There is no plot.
No, it's about the going forth with Japan's oh my god, reconstruction. Not only that, oh my god, what the fuck is I honest to God think I have holes in my brains where I lose my things. I lose my train of thought. It's about them getting Japan back on track. Like, why are those planes out there in the first place? They're looking for solid fishing lanes. That's the thing. Then they get their boats to go out there, whatever. This particular plane has engine trouble, crash lands on a monster island, if you will. Oh shit, there's another Godzilla. Oh shit, there's another thing. But when they come back to land, it's like, that's where they're at. We're focused on the rebuilding of Japan. And it's making sense. Not only that, but they're engaged. That's the whole point of it. You got to build a character. And that's what they're doing. They're building the character that's getting engaged or whatever the case may be. Remember, it goes from room to room. It's not just settled in one room. He goes from one room to another. You know what I'm saying? He goes from one party to another. And it builds that character. It's like, look, he's a good guy. We like him. That's what they're building to. He's a good guy. We like him. Then he does the ultimate sacrifice. To me, and again, this is where I go back. Serizawa does the ultimate sacrifice in the 1954 Godzilla. But we don't really know what his thing is about. Like, his good part is, I don't want this to fall into the wrong hands. But he comes in late in the movie. This dude's right in the beginning. He's right in the beginning. And he's supposed to be the tomfoolery, comedic aspect of this movie. And then he makes the ultimate sacrifice at the end. And that to me, and again, this is me not taking nothing away from where you placed it. But when you say, what does it mean? What does it signify? This is it. Like, it showcases a human side of things. Yeah, we want to see Godzilla. We want to see all this shit. But at the end of the day, the human shit works too. It's supposed to be there. And granted, you can say it's boring, and I get that. But that's what it was at the time. That's what it was. It was about rebuilding.
Yeah, I get that. Another aspect that I didn't really like about the movie was the absolute wasted, borderline just a cameo by Dr. Yamane, who was just there to give us stock footage of the original Godzilla and then leave.
That I agree with. I mean, that I agree with. But for me, and again, this is not me. Like, I can't knock anybody's argument with that. I agree. I'm just going to say it was PTSD. He was like, yeah, no, not again. Y'all already fucked this shit up. I'm done. That's how I look at it.
So moving on with D tier, there's only 3 movies in D tier. There's Godzilla 1998 because, unlike you, I just think the movie's kind of dumb. I think the jokes are really stupid. I don't really like the main character, Nick Tatopoulos. He's boring. It's probably one of Matthew Broderick's worst roles of all time. I fucking hate Audrey. The fucking reporter woman. Fucking hate her.
I don't know.
The most insufferable female lead I've ever seen in a monster movie. And I just see the fact that instead of Godzilla, and even instead of the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin were just trying to make their own quote unquote better Jurassic Park, and they failed.
Nope, I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. Because if they were trying to make a better Jurassic Park, there would be variants to the monsters in this movie. There wasn't. It was just one. It was Godzilla. It spawned. Fine.
Yeah, it was Godzilla, it was the T-Rex, and then there was the babies, who were the raptors.
But the fact of the matter is, they explained that this thing was asexual, whatever the fuck it, and it makes sense. That's what a lizard is, and they did it from the jump. Again, it's not Godzilla. It's not. It's not.
And that's what rounds out the fact that it's in D tier. It's not Godzilla.
Yet Shin Godzilla, which is not Godzilla, is in your fucking S tier.
Yeah, to you, to me, it is.
It's not, though. It's not. It's nowhere close to what Godzilla. It just looks like Godzilla, but it's not Godzilla. It's the same exact thing.
Godzilla is supposed to be a nuclear abomination, and that thing is a nuclear abomination.
Gino is a nuclear abomination. It shouldn't exist.
No, Gino is just a really big T-Rex.
Wrong. It's a nuclear abomination. In your words, it should not exist.
It's just
your words.
It's just a big T-Rex. It's just a big T-Rex that runs away from the military and dies to fucking missiles.
Your words. I'm going to use your words against you. If you want to renege, you can now. But you just said it's a nuclear abomination. That's exactly what 98 was. It was a nuclear abomination. It's a Gino.
They literally do not touch on the nuclear aspect outside of the very beginning.
Come on, man. Are you serious? Are you serious? Is serious? Really? Is that what you're basing your whole thing? I hate this movie on. Is that what you're basing? It needs to be about the nuclear thing. Serious? You know what I hear? I hear your partner talking. That's what I hear. That's what I hear. I don't hear you. I don't hear you. I hear somebody that's come into your life most recently. And you know what? I'm not even going to say it. But you know what? I know somebody who would probably disagree with you in this regard. Because he probably disagree with me too in my assumption of Shin Godzilla being a Gino. But I'm telling you, I don't hear you. I hear someone else.
Okay, whatever. Like, the reason why Godzilla 98 is not an F for me is because that was my actual first quote-unquote introduction. I watched Godzilla 98 when I was but the wee age of 4.
Good Lord have mercy. Wow! I'm old. This is the last podcast I'm ever doing, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. I just realized. I'm an old man. I'm dying. It's over prime.
Capping off D tier is Godzilla versus Megaguirus. It's just a slog.
Yeah.
Everything about Godzilla versus Megaguirus, when it comes to the human element, at the very bare minimum, was done much better in the Kiryu saga. And as for Megaguirus herself, she's cool, I guess. I liked the tie into the Mega Nulon from the original Rodan, but I feel like this movie could have been much, much better if Rodan was in it. I'm just saying. It probably would have been much, much better if Rodan was in it.
I agree. I can't knock you on that one.
And then we have the one movie.
And that'll do it for this episode of the... No, let me stop. I'm only kidding. I had to do it.
One movie in F tier, and because it's only one movie in there, I changed the tier from F to just being the title of this movie. It's Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. I fucking hate this movie. It's the worst time travel movie ever fucking made. You can name so many other time travel movies, they're done better than Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. Garen fucking Teed. Fucking hate it. All the characters are stupid or fucking inept. Like actual intelligence, stupid or inept. The whole fucking thing was done by stupid little front-faced ginger fucking white fuckers.
Wait, is that what you're mad about? Seriously, is that what you're mad because they were like white people that were evil? Evil white people? Who bombed Japan for something we loved?
The Godzilla movies. Invasion of Astro Monster is S tier. Glenn is one of the greatest Godzilla characters ever written. All right, and he's white. He's American. Nick Adams, fucking love you. You were taken before your time.
Yes, he was.
But these guys that they got to play the time travels, ugh.
No.
I hate the fucking pro-imperialism that's presented in the movie, making the Imperial Japanese Army look like fucking heroes when they weren't.
Absolutely they didn't. Not. Where did you see that? Where did you see what?
In the flashback.
No.
With the Godzillasaurus protecting the Imperial Japanese Army.
Listen. Look. No. What I saw...
This movie is borderline anti-American.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, what I saw was the Godzillasaurus come... And this is, again, this is what makes -1 so great. What I saw was the Godzillasaurus come out and just attack what was attacking it. That's what it is. Watch the movie again. You're so afraid. Wait, we just watched it this year. It might have been March, but we watched it. Godzillasaurus attacked what was attacking it. The Japanese didn't attack it, so why would it attack the Japanese? That's not pro-imperialism, man. It's not. It's just not. Because here's the deal. As Americans, we know, and where you live, God forbid, an alien comes down to Butte, Montana. You don't think your neighbors are going to be like, pow, pow, pow. You don't think that? Because I know for a fucking fact my neighbors would, and I live in Vegas. Area 51's up the block. Up the block. Motherfucking aliens start showing. Them motherfuckers be like, I don't own guns. My brother does. My brother be like, oh shit. So, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's not imperialism. Now, I could get you on the time travel shit. But when you bring that into it, I gotta push back. And I'm not even gonna push back. I'm gonna tsunami your ass. Because it's wrong. That's a wrong take. The time travel I'll give you, okay. I get it. As much as I like it. But I understand it. But nah, it's not really imperialistic, bro. It's not. Godzillasaurus came through the middle. And the ones that attacked it was the Americans. Take that, you dinosaur.
Now let me let me knock down one of your favorites
Bring
with
it.
this. Mecha King Ghidorah sucks. Mecha King Ghidorah as a suit sucks because the suit was so heavy, no motherfucker could even walk in it. It just had to stand. It just had to stand there, being a puppet that does not move. You watch that movie again. Mecha King Ghidorah does not move at all. It just wiggles its heads around and it pops out a fucking claw out of its belly. That's it. It doesn't move. It's stiff. It's dumb. It's just a beam fight.
Okay, so let me rock you now and knock you down from that argument. It's dead. It's a cyborg. It's not alive. It's being controlled by Anna or Emmy.
Yeah, and Emmy should have had him walk, but no, the suit was so heavy and stiff they couldn't. They wanted to have him walk around and do things.
Yeah,
but they couldn't.
No,
because
but you're also
the suit too big and too stiff.
No, but you got to think about the context of the movie, and not the context of the production, which we don't look at. We're not looking at the production. We're looking at the fucking final film. We're looking at what is shown to us, what is given to us. It's not it's not the suit. It's not the suit. It's too big. They can't move. That's not a part of the movie. That's not what the movie. That's not the story. The story is, here's a futuristic version. We've got this fucking super corona beam. Am I lying? No. And the Godzilla grip, which is the greatest thing of all time. The grip. I do that shit all the time. The grip. That was my finishing move in backyard wrestling. It was my finishing move. The grip. The grip. The grip. My finishing move. You can't say because of production the movie sucks. That's not the story. So in the story, you can manipulate it any way you want. And in my head, she's controlling a fucking zombie. She's controlling a zombie. And she's only got control of one fucking head. And it does its job. It does its job. Because does Godzilla win at the end? Ish. Come on. So that's the same as saying she controls or wins ish. It's not the same. You can't put, well, the suit doesn't move, that's why it sucks. That's stupid. It's not a part of the movie. We're talking about the movie, not about production. Because if we're talking about production, for crying out loud, this whole list changed. It changes. It completely changes. Because you're Shin Godzilla. You're fucking Shin Godzilla. If we're talking about production, let's talk about that fucking stupid ass CG morphing. We can't do that. I get it in the context of the movie. Listen nothing. That's the same exact thing. I get it in the context of the movie. That's not what we wanted to see. That's not what the director wanted us to see. It's just the limitations of what they had. So when you say that, then the limitations of what they had, the suit couldn't move. End of story. End of story. And I'm not mad.
End of story.
Look, and I'm not mad that
Here's this.
Yeah.
The actual fight between regular King Ghidorah and Godzilla, stupid, because for almost every other iteration of King Ghidorah, Godzilla had to have help. And Godzilla took him down by himself. That's dumb. King Ghidorah is supposed to be this big-ass fucking threat, and he feels like it's the weakest King Ghidorah we've ever had.
I got you right here. Boom, I got you right. Thank you for throwing that in my face, because I'm going to spit right back at you. Ready for this? Because every iteration of King Ghidorah before that one was a fucking alien or legitimate threat. These were pets. So stop that bullshit. Yes, Godzilla could single-handedly destroy that shit because they were pets. They wanted Godzilla to love him. Love them. And Godzilla said, get the fuck out of here. Bam. So stop it. And again, I'm not mad where you placed it. I'm not. I'm just shooting your arguments down. That's all I'm doing. And you can shoot my arguments down. That's fine. But everything you're saying, it don't work. It don't work. You're saying the suit was too heavy. Well, the suit being too heavy doesn't matter. The story was what it was. Because again, you want to talk about the suit? I can talk about the CG and Shin Godzilla. You got that in S tier, and you got Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, and you fuck you tier. But it's the same thing. If that's where we're gonna go, so don't talk about the suit being too heavy, because I will talk about your bullshit CG. You got to look at it in terms of story. And in terms of story, both of them work. As much as we don't want to admit it, they work. They work. So stop. Ladies and gentlemen, you know
I'm dying on this hill. I'm dying on it.
You can die on the hill. You know what? Because I'm going to put my foot on your chest like Godzilla did Kong. Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, this will end the final episode of G1 versus Z1 for this year, 2023. And like he said, he died on the hill. And I love him to death. Gams, you know I love you to death. Stop with the bullshit. You know I love you to death. I am so happy we did this. Seriously, this was this year. And granted, there should have been more, and there needs to be more. There was so much more to talk about. But I am glad, I am grateful for what we've done this year in terms of this particular show. I've had nothing but the best times talking about particular things with you. You know, like, we've rocked it. And yes, we do need to talk about Ninja Turtles. And there's a couple of other things we need to talk about. But as far as the year as a whole, man, I loved it, man. And I honestly, with you,
here's to 2024, man.
Oh my God, you have no idea. But thank you. Final thoughts, man. Anything you want to say before we go?
Final thoughts. I really need to get on that watching more things that came out this year, like that Scream 6 and stuff, because I'm slacking on 2023 releases. And as for the tier list, it's subject to change for me. It is not Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. That's forever going to be an F. I'm dying on this hill, but the tier list is subject to change. Definitely. I mean, fuck. I've grown soft on Godzilla versus Kong. Maybe a couple more rewatches, and I'll have it even in like B or A tier. I don't know. We'll see what the future has for us. I mean, especially with Godzilla X Kong coming out, it might make for a fantastic double feature since they're both directed by Adam Wingard. You know, who knows?
Oh man, listen. And I, on the other hand, I got nothing else to add to that. I'm all in Godzilla going forward. This podcast should have been a lot shorter than what it eventually turned out to be. But you know what? That's how it goes sometimes here on the Godzilla Block Party. This has been G1 versus Z1. I love it. The final episode of 2023. You know what? Even though he might be wrong, I still love him. And we, Gams,
we're out of here. Peace.